movie podcast ever recorded. And today, we were just going to have a nice weekend at the beach. And every single time this happens, somebody dies. It's time for Weekend at Bernie's. Let's go! Some might say a selfish way to look at things.
I mean, some.
Not me. I wouldn't say it.
No. You'd be Larry, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
You'd be like, come on, man, I just wanted to ride a jet ski
I just wanted to
around.
have a good time this weekend.
But you had to go and die. What kind of host invites you out? Isn't that what he says? Invites you out to their house and then dies.
It's rude.
Absolutely rude.
It's thoughtless.
It's tacky, is what
It is.
Right. You know, it's like just a level under not having like a cheese tray out when people come over or something, right?
Which, by the way, I saw no cheese trays in the
Saw
movie.
nothing. He didn't. I don't think he really wanted them to hang out there.
Where are the snacks? Which is pretty much the question that I have at all times. I'm a snack appreciator.
Yeah, well, when we get to the party scene, we've got many things to discuss. Thank you guys for being here. We've got the voice, Nicole Freer, joining us.
Good day, everyone.
I'm so sorry that you had to be here for this. Okay, I don't know if you were a fan of Weekend at Bernie's, and we'll find out as we go through this adventure together. I do know when I told you that this was the movie you were doing, you made a certain kind of face, which was something like, ugh, or something like that.
I mean, I wasn't stoked about it,
But maybe that'll make for just a great dynamic. So
mayhaps.
Perhaps. We'll see. But I'm glad you're here. Also, the mummer punner, machine punner punner.
Machine mummer punner. Machine punter mummer.
Whatever.
Machine punter mummer, Kurt Mummer.
There we go. Welcome in, man.
Hey, glad to be here for this one.
I'm glad that you're here too.
I, on the other hand, this is my first time seeing this movie.
You've never seen Weekend
Never
at Bernie's.
seen. I knew it was a part of the 80s, but
Okay, if you hadn't, then why make a face?
Because you hear things about things.
Okay. You didn't make a face when I told you.
no. I was excited.
Of course.
I am opposite of Nicole.
Well, this is going to be great then.
Perfect.
And it's only the three of us here today. Now, Grace was supposed to be here with us, but there was a health emergency, not with her, but with somebody close to her boyfriend. So she's got to be, hanging out with him. He's got some ouchies. And it means we've got a trio. It's been a hot minute since we've had a trio in here. I don't know if we've ever had this trio. I know you and me and Grace did Xanadu together, just the three of us.
That was a good one as well.
Yeah. But I don't know have you ever been in a trio on BMR?
Long time ago in a land far away, but not recently.
Oh, you know what? Fifth Element was a trio, wasn't it?
It was.
Your very first episode.
It was.
Oh, how about that?
Wow.
Bringing it all the way back.
That's right.
Let's go. Thank you guys also for listening. If you've never listened to the show before, we are going to go through the vitals here. I'm going to let you know everything you need to know about the movie, and then we're just going to dive in scene by scene analysis of, and this is a movie that just begs for deep analysis, and we'll go through each of we'll try and unwind the subtext.
Is it an allegory?
Probably.
Okay.
For something. We'll
Big words.
Kurt's like, no thanks, I already ate.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm allergic.
We are going to start here by letting you guys know this movie was directed by Ted Kotcheff, I think is how you say it. Now, Ted,
God bless you.
Thank you. Ted also was in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we'll talk about that when we get to his appearance in the film. But
He wasn't the guy wearing the short suit?
oh my gosh, I've got so much to say about those guys. Was that ever a thing?
Had no idea. I mean, I wasn't wearing suits at that point. I mean, 1988, 89, when was this movie
It was
done?
shot in 88. Did you catch the guys in the... It's a real short scene. So the day they come back to the building, when it's now Monday and there's actual people there in the lobby and they're walking to get to the elevator, there's two guys walking who look like they have full suits on.
But just wearing shorts.
But you look down and the suit pants cut off above the knee.
Yeah, it's shorts.
And the socks come up to just under the knees. So really it's just the knees that are out.
Because the air conditioning is probably up pretty high. So good choice.
They look like a couple of choir schoolboys.
They look like they're from Oliver Twist. You know what I mean? Like they just...
Maybe Mean Girls stop making fetch a thing or stop trying to make suit shorts a thing.
Please.
They're trying to set a...
Yeah, it was rough.
It looked like Michael.
And there
from
were
Mary
the
Poppins,
only two in there, yeah.
Yeah. because he had them in there.
Right. They used to put the old-fashioned kids in them. That's true.
Right.
I was waiting for him to like have the leather strap with the books and just like hang it over their shoulder.
Someone else with a stick and a wheel.
We're off to school. That's my best British accent.
Really? That's the best you've got.
We're going to see the boss. We're going to talk to him.
If you're
Please
listening
keep
from
doing that.
far away, we're so sorry.
We have a lot of UK listeners. In fact, somebody from the UK is doing awards for the first time with us today.
Awesome.
Now, I mean, don't let that stop you from doing your incredible, impeccable British accent.
Thanks.
Okay, I felt like I was just transported.
That's what I do.
I can't do. I mean, I know you've spent time in Britain, so
I have.
You probably have the biggest flex as far as being able to do a decent British accent. But
a lot of people don't know that I'm not just good at just puns.
no, you also are great at British accents.
Yes,
and puns.
that's true.
That's right.
Superheroing.
And superheroing and drawing.
Oh, that's true.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Do that too.
I did create our first logo.
That's right.
That's true.
That's true. So good on you there. But here's the thing. But Ted Kitchener,
Bless you.
the director. Thank you. Same guy that directed Rambo. The first Blood, the very first, like the very dramatic First Blood, Part 1.
I totally see the crossover.
It's obvious.
That's obviously. Movie was written by Robert Klein, who wrote the 2 Weekend at Bernie's. Did a lot of writing for TV, and the only other movie that you probably maybe heard of was National Lampoon's European Vacation.
Yeah.
It was the second one. Also wrote that. Movie starred Andrew McCarthy of the Brat Pack, Jonathan Silverman, Catherine Mary Stewart, and Terry Kaiser as Bernie. Now, Catherine Mary Stewart, we haven't seen on the show since we did The Last Starfighter. She was the main gal in The Last Starfighter, and another just. Have you seen that yet? Mm-hmm. Oh, banger of a movie.
Oh, it's the best. I don't know what Madela was talking about.
Crazy. I kind of when I saw she was in this, I had forgotten she was in this, and she came out. I was like, damn it, Ryan's not going to be on this episode. It's just the chance at redemption.
Could have had him fill in for Grace.
Gosh, yeah, last minute maybe.
Yeah.
See what he was up to. Budget for this film was $15 million. They cut a check for on this, and it brought in $30 million, which isn't really going to make them any money there. The movie's pretty high up on our IMDb scale. So of all the movies we've covered, it is the 36th highest rated film out of 180 something we're on right now from IMDb. It's the same rating that Need for Speed had at 6.4.
Which I had the luck to watch.
And you remember how good that movie was.
It was medium.
It was medium good.
Sure.
It was medium good.
It went medium well.
And then Tango and Cash is another one we did that was also a 6.4.
And that's also a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's medium great.
That's medium
It's
great.
great meat. Well, I can't do it.
You need a medium to figure out how great it was.
That's right. Movie currently sits, here's how it qualifies for our show. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is a 54% with critics. So just 6% under what the threshold is for being considered.
Would not get an A on the report card.
No. And then the audience score is almost in lockstep. That's at 57% audience score. So it seems like critics and audiences are in agreement here. Slightly more than half like it, but not really would you say, a strong majority of people. So it seems to be one where people are kind of split on it. And it looks like you two already are, and I don't really know how I feel about this movie, so we're going to see.
I'm still processing it.
I'm still kind of throwing it around in my brain and trying to. I mean, I would try to watch it very close to when we do the actual episodes. So sometimes,
so it's fresh in your head.
So it's fresh, but also sometimes by the time I'm in here, I still don't know what I think yet, which is why it's helpful to do that at the very end of the episode.
Honestly, that's true.
Because sometimes by the time we're done talking about it, I'm like, I think I feel differently about this movie.
Oh,
I do that with our awards, but not so much the end like feeling of it. Usually I'm shooting at like 90% on the hip.
Okay.
Very seldom do I change my mind
Yeah.
on whether or not it's a good movie.
And I'm surprised every time that we do awards in general. I go, what? I forgot to think about that. You'd think I'd have
Perfect.
processed that.
Did Jim watch it with you?
Yes. No, sorry, not this one. This my kids watched with me.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And they have opinions as well.
Oh, great. So I will hear from them. I'm always looking forward to what Max has to say about just about anything. So perfect. All right. Excellent. Well, thank you guys. If you're listening to the show for the first time and you don't know how to get in touch with the show, the best way to do that is to go to our email address. You can send us a message at thisshowIstrash@gmail.com, or you can call us and leave us a voicemail, 262-757-8567. And if you're asking yourself, I'm listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, there's shows on there that that aren't censored. Why is our show censored? Why are we hearing beeps and stuff like that? Like, we are trying to have a wide audience reached with our episodes. But if you're one of those people that doesn't want the beeps, you can get our uncensored, uncut version of the show on our Patreons, patreon.com/badmoviesrule, and then you don't have to worry about all of that stuff.
Not to mention all the plethora of things that we get on the Patreon.
All kinds of stuff. We just did John Wick for Good Movies Rule. Everybody loves that movie. You want to hear us talk about stuff like John Wick? We got Goonies coming up. We just did Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
We did RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop. You're right.
Yeah,
Die Hard.
Yes.
Come on, man. It's almost Christmas time. I think we might be putting out Die Hard onto our main feed because every Christmas we take that week off. We don't record that week.
Oh, and that'll be our episode.
And so we don't have an episode to put out that
I think
week.
that's a great idea.
I think last year we released Predator, which was our very first GMR, just on the main feed, like as a freebie.
Sure.
And I think we probably should do Die Hard this year.
I think it's
because
great
That's a
idea.
Christmas gift.
it's a Christmas movie, right?
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. So you get a free GMR coming up soon, you guys. And I don't know when the date this one's going to come out, but if it's not Christmas yet, it's coming up. So it should be out before Christmas, I'd imagine. Good God, Christmas is coming up fast. Let's pay some bills because Christmas is coming up fast.
True.
All right, guys, you ready to dive into the plot, the deep, thick plot of which no one has ever mined the depths of hitherto now?
Yes.
All right.
I also really enjoyed those commercials just now.
Those are great, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I used some of those things.
I sure do love those things they
They're
talked about.
fantastic
They
things.
certainly come in handy, the stuff.
Good stuff.
When you need, and sometimes they're delicious,
Sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes they're usable.
very useful.
Solving problems that
yeah.
so many of us
So many.
encounter.
Especially that last one. Nicole's really into that last
Yeah.
one.
Uh-oh. Be careful.
Everybody gets different ones. So that joke's really going to hit for some
no.
people, and for other people, it's not going to make sense.
Did not fly at
She
all.
really likes Progressive Insurance. I don't know.
Great.
Right?
She must get into a lot of accidents.
She must. I don't know. All right, guys, let's talk about how this movie kicks off. It's 1989. It's the
Epitome of the 80s.
definitely looks and feels like an 80s
sure.
movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, who else carries a TV underneath their armpit?
People from the 80s
Yeah.
do.
That's
right.
Right?
The late 80s. The ladies.
Yes.
Late? Nope.
Ladies carry.
I'm still workshopping that.
We'll circle back.
Yep.
We'll put a pin in it. The first, like, the opening credit sequence is you're just meeting a lot of like colorful characters.
Yeah.
From
Some guy in shorts with a Dago,
Yeah.
tee on, just washing his
just
sidewalk.
hosing the sidewalk
Yeah.
down. I love that. That might be one of my favorite characters in the whole movie because he's like, when somebody makes him mad, he just hikes his shorts up.
Yeah.
All the way up. to
Hey,
his
you
chest.
guys get out of here.
Am I the only one who does that?
Whenever you get mad, it's the best time to convey anger.
He does that too. It works.
It does. People
People know right away.
their fight or flight goes into effect.
Right.
And then they just
Right.
Nope. She's hiking up the shorts.
Oh,
That's
get out of here.
Go.
Right? Kurt
Run.
usually does the opposite when he gets angry.
It's just
I unhike my shorts.
right.
And I also get the same effect, though.
Yeah.
Run!
Run.
Get out of here!
Out of here. We meet Richard. Richard is the straight-laced, yuppie guy living at home with his folks. And it's like the Odd Couple, right? Because when we meet Larry coming down the street, Larry looks like he's dressed to go to the beach and not to the office. And he's the messy.
They're opposites. It's cute.
Ba-da-bam, ba-da-bam.
Yeah, I mean, within like the first 5 minutes, they show him throw away the garbage.
Yeah.
And he misses the garbage can.
Right.
And then Rich has to pick it up and put it back into the
Right.
garbage can.
It's Felix Unger and
Yeah.
whoever the other guy was.
And he's wearing
Or-
a suit on a Saturday too.
or Chandler Bing and Ross.
Right.
Yeah. Of the 80s.
It's the classic trope. Let's just hit it because it's definitely a comedic trope. Right?
Sure.
The opposite guys. Larry is the carefree, he's supposed to be the cool guy out of the two. I don't know how cool he is, but he's trying really hard to be cool with the way he takes his cigarettes out and stuff throughout the whole movie and whatnot.
Absolutely.
And he does. One thing he does at its cool is he just opts out of a robbery in Central Park.
Right.
Right. He just says no.
Yeah.
He gave the gun back. I thought he was going to just chuck the gun.
Chuck it or
Did he give
something?
it back to the
He
guy?
just slapped it out of the way.
It's like, it's too hot for this. Knock it off.
Come on.
There's a dude hanging out in a tank top and short shorts.
Pulls out the smallest gun I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Bullets aren't that big though, so it's fine.
He's like, yeah, you really don't need a huge gun for bullets.
Nope.
He's like, give me all your money and all in your wallet and all that stuff. And he just says, it's too hot for this and smacks it out of the
That's
way. Because that's what's like living in New York.
how you doing?
Hey, right, whatever. Come on, go rob a tourist.
Go get some pizza.
Tourist.
That's right. Please.
Fold it over.
Also, I should say, hold on, because you're not cool. Talking about how hard he tries to be cool, unless you wear.
Oh yeah, are you wearing the glasses? Yes.
Sure.
Hang down here like this.
That's almost dead on.
And he's just like, "Yay, man! You know, we're eating hot dogs and we're talking about, we just got to talk to the girls,
Right.
man. That's the problem."
Yeah.
man.
With this, I didn't even know I did it.
Yeah. Oh, this.
So cool. What?
You're too cool to even say this was purposely, expertly placed with precision and
3 hours earlier in the bathroom.
Right.
Oh,
He's
no,
like
no,
this.
this way.
Right. No, this wasn't a thing.
I got to get it hanging off the ear just perfectly.
I was alive in the 80s. No one casually ate their entire lunch and had a conversation with their sunglasses.
Again, I think the stylist is like the friend of the director who's like, we're going to set some trends
That's
here.
right.
Maybe
We're gonna do the-
backwards.
the
I
Rachel
remember the
haircut.
glasses
Oh.
being on backwards.
On the Guy Fieri, where
Yes.
it's on like the back of their head.
Exactly.
He's like the only one that hung on to that for the next 20 years.
Yeah,
That's fine.
that I remember.
Or even slightly up above their eyeballs,
Yeah.
Just like rest up on their forehead and they do the thing. And
Yeah, slap them down.
Just draw 2 dots to make extra eyes.
right. Whatever. But never has it been like, ooh, that's edgy.
Yeah.
Let's hang them down by our throat. And so somebody can just jab them right into our atoms.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when you're trying to swallow and the glasses are just bobbing forward.
That's a hard thing for dudes to deal with. I don't
It
have that
is.
as much.
Especially if you got a beard.
Larry and Richard get to the office. They're working on the weekend. Everybody's working on the weekend. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Everybody needs some romance. I don't know the rest of it.
Why wasn't that 80s
We're
jam playing?
Put out an album
We're
soon,
just
and
thinking-
you are just going to be singing that
Stay
one.
home that day? Oh,
no.
And you will be absent.
You will be. We will lock your front door from the outside.
Perfect. And I understand.
What's with the 2x4?
I'll just be saying to them when I go in, I get it.
I get it. Thank you.
It's fine.
Thank you.
Good luck with your album.
Goes back to bed.
Everybody's working. No, stop. Don't. It's over. It's embarrassing.
No, I got it this time. I got it this
Go
time.
home. It's over. What are you doing?
It's like in the audition, that person that when they say thank you and they want to try and go again, it's the worst. It's like talking about the most secondhand embarrassment I've ever felt in my entire life, where I'm just like, somebody tackle them, please get them out of there.
Open the floor.
Open the floor and have them
They just
drop
drop.
down. You've never been. I don't even been in a lot of auditions, but sometimes that happens where they'll sing, it's not good. They'll say thank you, which is basically the nicest way to be like, get the frick out of here.
There was sorry
ahead.
to interrupt.
No,
There was
do
a
your
really there's a really nice casting director in Chicago who opened up her arms after, and she was like, "Well, I think we got it." And I thought she was opening her arms for a hug, and I went in.
No.
Yep. And we just because we were close to each other, and
Yeah.
it was a quick. I just did the pat and got the heck out of there. But
And her arms never moved from where they were. They were just
What are you doing?
we completed the
closed.
hug transaction, but we all knew what it was and how it happened, and I've been cast by her since. So.
oh.
Nice.
It worked out.
So it
Thank
worked out.
God.
But yeah, I went in my car and I was like, goosh, just my head near the
The
steering
Barney
wheel.
McFly right on the
Why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I've
rough.
been pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Everyone that's hired me, I know. So,
Oh, there you go.
I mean, you hired me for
Grease.
the live show, and then for
Grease.
Grease, and
And
then
Don. Yeah.
I tried
What's
out
it like getting
for-
a part every time you ever auditioned for anything?
Well, if you
100%.
remember, when I was not expecting to be Boggs.
No.
For
That's true.
Shawshank.
That's true.
I was expecting to just be some
Rooster.
side character,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're Rooster.
And they were like, "Yeah, we want you to be Boggs," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
I guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
All right. Larry's always late. He's 30 minutes late. I would never wait for Fred for 30 minutes.
In the sun in the corner.
No.
Find shade.
Goodbye.
That's going to be a theme for me later throughout
Find
this movie.
some shade.
Does no one know what shade looks like?
Oh.
I don't get it.
I hate the heat in general. So this whole first opening that where it's all so hot and
Uncomfortable.
stuff. Like,
Well, and they're on the rooftop.
well, that's what they
Yeah.
get to work. They're not there 5 minutes, and Larry's like, "Let's go to the beach," and thinking they wants to go to the actual beach.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, dude, you literally just got here, right? They go cut to the roof. Who in their right mind would ever want to spend more than 5 minutes up on this hot ass roof?
I would have rather just stayed in the office.
Dude, they got air conditioning in there.
No, I think it's out for the weekend.
Oh, they turned it off for the weekend, but still.
They went out in the
You're not
sun.
in the hot sun
Yep.
on a tarred roof
Yep.
where it's sticking to your feet and everything.
With no shade.
No shade at all.
Just bring an umbrella, bring a paper,
right.
anything.
Something.
Set up a tent.
That's it.
Something. Yeah.
We got all those spreadsheets. We can construct
Exactly.
a kind of rudimentary shelter.
Yep.
Or something.
Yeah.
And they're
And they're wearing layers.
Multiple layers.
80s layers too.
He's like, should I go in? I just ate. He's like, yeah, I think you can risk it. It's
I think the movie shouldn't have been Weekend at Bernie. It should have just been Hot Summer in Layers.
Summer in layers.
I would not see that, though.
Yeah, why did he have a turtleneck on underneath his... That's weird.
Is that sure polyester? It sure feels like it. Because I took my jean jacket off.
It's like, should I get in this pool? Yeah, but take your sweater off first. Your giant, fluffy,
Your wool sweater.
Christmas wool sweater.
They had time to like set up the chairs with the towels and
Right.
the hose.
Well, yeah, they filled a kiddie pool with water up there.
That pool is melting.
Yeah, well,
There's
yeah.
no way on
Yep.
that roof. And
It
when he-
became part of the roof.
and when Richard a minute hot foots it across the
I
roof.
didn't even feel bad for him.
No, but then he sits down on a metal upside down like tin.
Yep.
Like that thing is 1,000 degrees.
Right.
Yeah.
If
it was red hot.
If your feet are hot,
I'm starting to realize they didn't hire a scientist as like a consultant for this film.
no.
That's the problem.
But they did a really good job of making it look like it was 150 degrees outside.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Oh, and I hate the heat, so that was really bad. But anyway, they're up on the roof. They find out that they're going through spreadsheets. They're now covered in roof tar. And they find out that there's a $2 million discrepancy in the numbers.
They don't find out. Just one of them finds out.
Richard finds out.
Why are they friends?
Why is he carrying him?
Right. And is the other one, does he work? I don't.
He does nothing. He references throughout the movie how he started after him. He trained him.
Yeah.
He showed him how to do everything. He never works a day in his life or does anything. And he's just riding Richard's coattails
Yep.
through, wherever he can take him up into he's a succubus.
Yes.
That's what he is.
It's a real.
We all have friends like that, right?
He's a barnacle on Richard's ass.
Why are you looking at me so directly when you say it like that?
There's only two people for me to look at. I'm going to look at Nicole and be like, he's a barnacle on his ass, Nicole.
I'm just a regular Nicole. Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank
That was a pun.
It's all right.
We'll work on them.
I'm a hell of a barnacle.
Rack her up, please. You're a hell of a barnacle.
Hell yeah.
No, it's not. Larry's the barnacle.
Oh,
Larry
I got
is
it.
the barnacle. If you identify it in some way with his character, I can't help you with that.
You
I
wear some
do wear
flashy
Converses.
Stuff. That's flashy stuff.
I do wear a lot of 80s clothing.
All right, the next day at
I
work-
am wearing Care Bears right now.
Yeah, I like that. Careful, I'm grumpy.
Yeah.
My wife used to have a shirt with "Couldn't Care Less" bear on it.
Yeah.
It was my favorite.
Couldn't care less, Bear?
Yeah, it was like she had like a scarf and her phone and a coffee, and it was like "Couldn't Care Less" bear.
Nice.
Which is not an official. Care
That's a
Bear,
good one.
I don't think, but it should be an official Care Bear.
It
Wouldn't that
should
be
be.
great if they had those?
They should start having new, like a whole line of like Grumpy is like a whole different breed of bear.
Right.
But he's still a Care Bear. And
Right.
then like those are his cousins.
Because right now they just
Sure.
have the it's like
Yeah.
it's like happy, sneezy, slappy, silly.
Right.
What are they?
No, Slappy. It's
Slappy.
you got it.
Yeah. Slappy Bear.
Yep.
What are the main like four? It's like Sunshine Bear.
There's
Tender Heart.
It's Funshine.
Yeah, fun. Oh wow! I'm
Cheer
so
Bear.
sorry.
It's
Oh, good for you.
Cheer Bear.
Sorry, this is like critical to
Tender
my.
Heart Bear.
Yeah, we knew that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Grumpy.
Grumpy.
And
Remember,
then those are the main four.
The blue one with the rain cloud.
Yes, that's him right here.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I know some things about Care Bears.
Yes.
It's been a hot.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if they brought him in, then they could have like the Care Bears cousins.
There's just way more emotions in that, and they could have all kinds of extra Care Bears.
Sure.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Well, if
Would be.
Inside Out had the second version, right?
Yes.
You could have like a second level of more feelings.
It would be great.
Anxiety Bear.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That'd be hilarious.
That would sell very well.
It really would.
Hold on a second.
I just want to see Hush Bear, and he's just like, shh,
Just
no talkie.
no.
No more. Thank you.
Right. Well, whatever the
Oscar the Grouch.
introvert bear.
Oh, sure. Introvert Bear.
No, thank you, Bear.
You bear.
I'm good.
I'm good. Actually, that's,
Yeah.
that's
I'm good, Bear.
yep.
So this begins their sticky situation.
So yeah. Whoa. All right. After they walk past the two dudes on the way back into work from Oliver Twist, they go. They fight. They see Gwen. All right. This is where we get Catherine Mary Stewart from Last Starfighter. They see Gwen, who's like a college student,
Allegedly a college student.
29-year-old
Yes.
college student.
Literally, I had to look it up. I'm
Oh,
like,
is she 29?
She was born in please hold.
58.
Oh, come on. April 22nd, 1959.
Yeah, then she was 29 years
Yes.
old when they shot this.
But she had to go back to college. And I was
Sure.
like, she's doing a nice job, but
She's doing great.
just
She's
say
been
she's
there-
going to grad school or change the story.
She's been there 12 years.
Right? I mean, held back.
She wants to be a doctor.
She keeps changing her major.
Something.
Yeah,
over and over
that
again.
is the problem.
Now she's a French poetry major or something.
Right.
And she's doing her internship. She's actually been there 5 years on an internship. He sees her there.
French poetry.
He wants to talk to her. They're in a very crowded elevator together. And let me just say, if I was interested in a girl and I had a friend in an elevator acting like Larry was and like reaching over, tapping her, saying things very loudly. Like this woman is deaf, by the way. Can I just tell you? Like she's
Yes.
absolutely has to be deaf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what? I'm sorry. What?
I would choke the life out of a friend that was
Yes.
trying. I would literally have already turned and grabbed him and like.
He'd be on the
"What?"
floor
Oh.
because you would have punched him
Yes. Shut up.
or kicked him.
Stop. Yeah, he's trying to like manufacture an interaction between the two of them. Also, she's deaf. But look, who's to say that the dead aunt hiding myself behind the briefcase, being a klutz in the elevator thing doesn't work because she was so into him
Yeah.
after all of that.
Maybe she already liked him before and they just didn't really,
And she just was waiting for him to ask
Yeah.
her out, right?
and maybe they just didn't draw on that and show you that in the movie.
That's the only thing I could think of. Because he walks past her. So he just turns in the elevator and he's like, my aunt is sick. He doesn't even have an aunt.
No,
Then walks past her hiding himself with the briefcase.
because he's like, I'm such an idiot.
and she's smiling at that. She thinks that's the hottest thing
Adorable.
ever.
Sure.
And then sees her in an elevator again and gets shoved into it.
Yeah.
And makes a fool in front of this other dude that's in there. And for somehow he still secures the date.
Yes.
I'm guessing at an insurance company, there's not a lot of game being thrown around,
can't
though.
imagine
So
there
she
is.
was like, I will take it because that's what I'm getting right now.
Yes, this is acceptable to me.
Sure.
You've met the threshold, which was a very low bar.
Eye
at
contact
this
at one
company.
time.
Like they have a meeting with Bernie Lomax to tell him about the $2 million.
They're trying to say like, hey, there's a goof here. We found something. We want to bring it to your attention. We see that there's money that's been deducted afterwards,
Right.
after the person has died. So they're trying to basically like, hey,
I know they're going for
Point
this
it out
whole
to the boss.
like slapsticky, out of control, way over the top acting. For me, I struggle with it because these moments don't have to be that way to still be funny. And
Right.
do you get what I'm saying?
And there aren't like the sound effects that come along with other movies that use that, or like the Rodney Dangerfield kind of vibe wasn't quite turned up enough.
Which can be funny, but these guys, the way they act in this meeting with the head of the company, especially Larry, right, who's like smacking people in the back of the head and running around and being like, "Well, actually, I've been here for 5 years." So he's like, "What? You just got here 6 months after I?" "Well, shut up." "Well, no, I didn't." They're like arguing.
yeah,
like,
they're back and forth.
guys, get your together.
Yeah.
Right. You're in Bernie Lomax's office, but it's a comedy, and so. Some comedies feel like they can just do away with any amount of realism because in the name of comedy.
Right.
I think a certain amount of realism serves the comedy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
If you have, I mean, there's the whole idea of you have a truthful situation, then the comedy comes out of that. If you can kind of go at it two ways, make it completely farcical or make it real where funny things happen. But if you try to do both, it doesn't work as much.
So that's the thing is they didn't go too far in either direction, right? Because it's played like a real life scenario. But one of them is acting like they're in a French farce.
And it just depends on who's behind the camera going, that's gold. And you're
Yes.
like, I guess I'm going to keep doing that.
Is that like a fart that smells like croissants?
Yeah, that's exactly what a French farce is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's So there's like American farces, which
Right.
are really just
French fries.
French fries, steak,
Right.
cow milk. They smell a certain way. And then there's French farces, which are like buttery croissants. Yeah, and cigarette smoke.
Oh,
Yeah,
not as pleasing.
not as pleasing. But everybody likes their own brand, so it's fine.
Hey, so I'm related, weirdly. I have an idea. So
Weirdly.
I can imagine getting a funny T-shirt or something with like the Lorax, but then just putting the face of Bernie Lomax
Yeah.
over it, like in front of trees.
That'd
But
be a
then
great idea.
He's got his arms over someone or something.
You know what you just did?
What?
You just created a meme. Somebody's got to go meme that. That would be, get to it, internet. Bernie is, argues him a little bit like, oh, but you got the numbers wrong, blah, blah, blah. But really, he's just trying to cover his own ass because Bernie's the one ripping off the company.
That's right.
And so Richard's like, no, hold on. If you go to the last page, it shows that all these other ones happen after the person died. He's like, you know what, boys? You got a big, bright future in this company. You're going places. why don't you join me at my house this weekend in the Hamptons? You come out on the ferry. I'll even drive you back to New York on Monday. It's going to be great.
And they're
Party's
like,
all
we
weekend."
were just talking very specifically about how we wanted to go to a beach house.
Right?
Yep. And then we've also
Weird.
spent a lot of time talking about how rich you are for a long time in the beginning of the movie.
They
So-
did. They spent sunglasses were hanging off of his
Right.
face, and they were talking
Yep.
about how their cockroach infested apartments are
Yep.
small and terrible.
Yep, they really were heavy-handed
Right.
with that information.
And you know how much it costs to park a car in New York all year? More than my apartment.
That's it.
He's like, well, to be fair, Bernie's car is bigger than your apartment.
And I live with my mom and dad.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's an important piece of information that's going to come up right now.
It's going to be hilarious.
So, I do like the smash cut here from join me in the Hamptons, guys. It's going to be great. Smash cut to Bernie at dinner with other people. You have to kill them.
Yeah, because he's like, he loves us. And then it's like you said, just smash cut. And he's like, we got to kill him.
We have to kill them immediately.
Yeah.
Bro,
He's talking to Vito,
he's
his
like,
boss.
sorry, sir, this is a Wendy's. Like, I don't.
Are you going to order a Frosty or what's up?
He was so loud in this restaurant. There are other tables.
And I'm just waiting
right
for
there.
Vito to be like, shh.
That's the other thing.
wrong with you?
Is the writing like this is like assumes everyone that's not involved in the scene is deaf, right? Can't hear anything.
And that we're stupid. I think that's what
Yes.
bothers me throughout the film is like, okay, I could probably have gotten there in a little bit of time. Don't hit me over the head with the information.
But yeah, he's there with like, what was his name? You said Vito.
Vito is his boss.
It's a mob guy,
Yeah.
right? He's like, but look, we're not the mob anymore.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Now we got investments, right? We
Yeah.
make deals.
Portfolios,
We got clientele,
clientele.
right? What are you talking about? Killing people over here? I'm just trying to eat this fajoli, okay?
This beans. Love that.
Hey,
I'm over eating beans.
I'm riffing over here, all right?
I love it. I love it. But the thing is, they do say, hey, these guys figured out they're going to ruin things. At no point were they like, we should do something about it. They were like, nah, they'll be fine.
No, it's fine.
We'll leave that out there.
Totally fine. But meanwhile, this woman with giant gloves, I mean, these gloves were humongous.
Yep.
They were oven mitts.
They were looking like
Yeah.
She was just done baking cookies.
fanned out like
Yeah.
crazy.
It was a look.
It was.
Again, it was a
choice.
style stepping over the line to be fashion.
All she wanted to do was drive her foot as far into Bernie's nuts as she possibly could.
Also,
Which is tropey.
It was kind of like bad movies rule used to be one big table, right? One long table. Well, they were like in a semicircle. So her leg was 7 feet long to get over to.
That's a great point.
Impressive.
That's a great point.
Yes, that was
When you
Max's
said that's-
point.
When you said that's just like BMR, I was like, what has been happening under the table that
Right.
I'm not aware
No,
of?
I didn't mean that. It's just the placement of chairs.
Gotcha.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. So Max figured out
Yeah, he's like, how's
that's
she
not
doing?
possible.
Yeah.
They're a little too obvious, I feel like, Bernie and this woman.
Oh, yeah. They know. All three of them
Yeah.
know what's going on.
Right? That Bernie's like, all right, we'll kill him. You know, Paulie's sitting at the table. He's the actual hitman. He's like, I'm a little rusty, but figure it out.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, guys, I got to go. We're going to head out to the Hamptons here. All right, we'll have some fun. It'll be great.
What, you don't want to stay for dessert?
He's like, no, I got this. This.
They're going to serve us an Italian farce.
No, I gotta kill you. I gotta screw your girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah. And then
again-
she's like, oh, I got to go powder my nose.
Yeah, like right after Bernie
Yeah.
leaves.
At least give it 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Right, count to 5.
Come on.
Something. Oh, I gotta do something right now.
And then he's literally like, all right, number 2, you get up.
Yeah.
You go check them out.
So he says,
But
forget
because
these other two.
they were so obvious about it, we didn't have a chance to discover it. Again, annoying.
Yeah.
Because he even had a guy, one of his guys, who spied on them. So that's how they could have found out. They didn't have to.
Say, oh, I already know, right?
He had to ask some couple, like, hey, you move over. I got to stare out this window.
That's right.
What are you doing? I'm spying on somebody for my boss.
That's right.
Get
Eat
up.
your fazoli over here. I don't, whatever they
Yeah.
do in these places.
What do you got? A linguine in there?
What are you doing?
Hey.
You got some Alfredo sauce on your fazoli?
Beans and cheese.
The Italian over here is getting very grossed out by this.
No mi piace, no mi piace.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so she goes out and they're making out on the sidewalk. Boiny. I hate how the way she says his name. Boiny.
I know.
Boiny, baby. Boiny. they're making out on the sidewalk. Like, dude, even if they hadn't sent somebody over, they probably could have seen him out the window from the table, right?
Right.
It was like so obvious. So he's like, forget these two guys he wants us to kill.
Well, and I
gonna kill
enjoy
Bernie.
that everybody knows who Bernie is
Yeah.
on the island.
Yeah.
But like nobody in New York City has any clue to who he is.
No.
You would think at least one person would be like, hey, Bernie!
Lomax!
Hey, what are you doing? You making out with Vito's girlfriend?
Right.
Hey, forget about it.
He's in the flashy car, throwing around cash.
Right?
Yeah.
But no, so they decide to not kill the other two guys. They're going to kill Bernie Lomax instead.
Yeah.
That's what he tells Paulie to do. Then we get to the date that Richard has with Gwen in the middle of a construction zone. That goes really well.
Yeah. I
Takes-
think they needed like a cute music to
Something.
go. But you did hear like the garbage trucks. Exactly.
You know, and they're back. Garbage trucks backing up. There's it sounds like pile drivers going around all over
Yeah.
the place, jackhammers.
So it was nice. Like that scene, I think, was done well because she was actually happy that he was a real guy taking her to a real restaurant.
Yeah, and he's a super stand-up guy. No red flags at all. Right? She says, I can't come back to my place because I got 5 roommates.
Right.
They're all doing their hair right now. So what about you? Do you have any roommates? No. Dude, it's the stupidest lie because then you're going to have to go there. By saying no, then you've left no other option than to go to your place.
Just say yes.
And the comedy ensues now.
Right.
All right.
Just say yes. I have roommates.
Yep. Because they could have made it really slapsticky if they wanted. And like the lamp almost falls over harder, and then
Right.
this falls over, and but it's just let's whisper.
Right. So they go to his place because he lives with his folks. And so
Right.
he goes over, he slides this like sliding door to the hallway closed. And he's like, no, I just decorate like it's the 1960s because, she's like, no, I'm into it, whatever.
Yeah, she's like some wood expert. She's
Yeah.
just like, oh, yes, look at this teak is so nice.
Yeah, she's not familiar with a whole lot of different kinds of wood.
No.
I'll tell you that for sure. She says, look, let's make out on you okay?
Nothing.
You
I'm good.
No.
I'm good.
No.
There's some jokes that I always want to just touch, and then I was like, I like that. I'll just laugh.
It was
Because you said wood expert.
innuendo. It's fine.
But
I looked at him and I was
Nicole
like-
looked at me and pointed and was like, you going to say it? I was like, nope, not touching that one.
But he was bubbling over with excitement.
I was laughing.
They do start to, he says, she says, what happened to your folks? They're on the couch together now, right?
Died in a train accident. I heard train accidents happen because that's so crazy. Like when you travel, trains seem to not be a big.
Right.
It's I heard it was worse to not take
but
a
a
plane.
plane fell on it.
That's right.
And he's like, oh yeah, a plane fell on my.
A plane.
That's what happened.
That's how deep you're going to weave this tale.
Lie.
You're
Yeah.
going to, a plane crashed into a train.
And
Now,
God bless
that
him,
said-
it worked.
But that said, those lines could be delivered in a comedy that people would laugh at
Yes.
differently. I'm sure
Yes.
there were some chuckles
Sure.
in the theaters back then, but
Yeah.
it's just wrong kind of movie, or just needed another person.
Everything. It needs everything.
Just
yeah.
make a different cake.
That's what happens. Unfortunately, his dad comes out to make a cake. That's right. Okay. So
Yeah, and his boxers.
why lie? I know they're trying to set up. This is almost like sitcom level situation comedy
Sure.
that they're doing here, and so they got to set up the sitcom-y thing. And so I understand when I say why lie, I'm trying to make this a real scenario because I understand in the movie why they would do it, but in a real scenario, which is why this doesn't ring true in any way, shape, or form.
Which is the problem.
You've already lied that you don't have roommates. Why in the hell would you make it? It's already a bad situation. Why would you make it so much worse by saying the roommates that you do have are dead, right?
Or then a butler.
And then dad comes out and he says, oh, Jeeves or whatever the hell name.
Monroe.
Thank
Monroe.
you.
Yeah.
You take that to the back, please, and gives him
As if his dad was going to be okay with that.
Yeah, he basically says, hey, lay out my blue suit. And then
Right.
the dad stops and just stares at him and
But I
goes,
lay you out.
I'm going to lay you out. Yeah.
So that was the director. That was his little cameo.
Oh,
Okay, that was the film's director playing dad.
okay.
But your dad walks out in his underwear to hit the fridge at whatever time of night it is.
Sure.
And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you had company. Dad couldn't have played along. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Or he could have
sure.
just stayed quiet and not said anything.
Yeah. Monroe, put my suit out. Sure thing, sir.
Or the opposite.
Yeah.
Don't say Monroe put my suit out. Just say good night and thank you. And he'd be
Good night
like,
and
that's
thank
weird, but
Yeah.
say thank you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then you could reply the brain damage line. Be like, oh, he's got a steel plate, you know. Yeah.
He'll put out my suit tomorrow.
I'm just saying, I would hope, and I can't guarantee I would because if you're tired, you just woke up. But I would hope in that same scenario, I would have enough situational awareness to cover my son's back.
Would your dad do that?
I think he would.
Do you think Jack Hauser would totally do that?
It depends on, again, what state he was in at the time that the question.
How many he had to drink?
Sure. Whatever
Yeah.
the situation.
But if he's like a hardened New Yorker,
Yeah.
then I don't know if he would be cool with someone
Right.
belittling them in front of a girl.
I mean, if she's 29,
Right.
She's a full ass woman.
Right.
Yes.
be like, how you doing?
That would
Way
have
to
been
be.
Wait, she looks like she's more my age.
Yeah. Although so
What
did
do you-
he.
What do you think? Yeah.
Both of them. They both are.
Seriously.
Actually, how old was he?
I don't know. Who knows?
I'm going to look it up.
We're going to head to the Hamptons while you're looking that up. So you let me know when you find it. But we see Bernie in his Porsche styled golf cart.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Now, is that the thing that the guy wanted to buy? I didn't know if
don't
it was
know.
the real Porsche or that.
I don't know. He was trying to sell him
A Porsche.
a Porsche.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably owned like a million things, too.
I don't know.
And he bought it all for cash.
Everybody knows him. He's like every girl guy on the pier. They're all waving to him. Hey, Bernie. Yeah, Bernie. He gets there. There's some guy sleeping underneath his house and he kicks out. He's like, I fired you last week.
Well, yeah, he was like a handyman or something because he's like, you screwed up this. And I got to add, the additional voices that they do, I don't know what you call that, but
The voiceover.
the voiceovers where there's nobody saying anything
Oh, that
is
happens
hilarious
a lot in
throughout
this.
this whole movie.
Yeah.
That guy, as he's running away, isn't saying anything, but you hear him trailing off, being like, I'm not going to fix anything again for
Yeah,
you guys.
right.
What are you doing?
Because they
You
think,
kicked me in the butt.
the audience is stupid and
Yeah.
they're not going to understand the nature of the relationship.
Sure.
And so we have to ADR somebody
Yes.
going, I am no longer going
ADR,
to fix
thank
your
you.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Poorly done, ADR. By the way, Jonathan Silverman was not that old. He was just 23. So he
Look at that.
fit in there nicely.
He could have been, his character should have been 29 and her character should have been 23.
Yes.
Okay. Bernie answers the phone when he gets, before I say, I've almost skipped over the fact when he gets inside, there is his gardener
Yes.
inside,
With buckets.
former Chan Sing member from Big Trouble Little China, George Chung.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude was one of the Chan Sing.
I didn't even recognize him.
He fought alongside Jack Burton against the Wing Kong and Lo Pan.
Oh,
in the
no
Three
way.
Storms. Yeah.
That was so many syllables I didn't understand all in a row. Just like, wow.
Well, you see,
Sounds impressive.
there's an ancient Chinese demigod named Lo Pan who was cursed for 2,000 years to live as a kind of halfway state between life and death.
That's tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's real tough.
And he's got his bad guys. They're the Wing Kong. They wear black and red turbans, and they're kung fu guys. And
Sure.
they always fight against the Chan Sing. They have like yellow and
Yes.
black on,
Gold, yeah.
and gold, and they fight.
like they're from
against each
Pittsburgh.
other.
Go ahead.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. Like they're from Pittsburgh.
Yep.
From downtown.
Downtown.
And
Dang.
yeah, quick shout out to the Chang Sing. Hey,
My hometown.
trying to be super positive about
Going downtown.
Be as positive as you
It's
can.
positive. Anyway, that's the ancient battle
you.
between the Wing Kong and the Chang Sing.
I appreciate it.
And one day, Jack Burton drove his truck straight in the middle of all this,
Yeah.
wrapped up in all of it.
Jack.
But he ends up,
He's a good guy.
defeating Lo Pan forever once he became flesh by marrying two women with green eyes. So,
Yeah.
Makes
One of
perfect
them being
That is
Jack Burton's girlfriend.
Obvious.
obvious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Knew that was going to happen.
Okay.
And there's a were monster in there
There
somewhere.
it is. There's a were monster
And a
and a guy
floating
that's
head.
got lightning powers. So,
Yeah.
and a floating head.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
there's that
Bernie's still
floating
alive.
Sphere.
Bernie's still alive. You should see Big Trouble in Little China. Put a button on that. All right. Bernie answers his phone and talks about the murder right after the beep on his answering machine.
Yeah.
Like, even I knew this is being recorded. Right? I mean, for those of you who don't know what an answering machine is,
Right.
there used to be answering machines where we go beep and then it would have a literal cassette tape and it would record, even if you picked up
Yep.
and said, oh, no, hey, I'm here. It's still recording.
Yep.
And it goes, this is Bernie, whatever, I'm not here, leave a message. Beep. He's like, no, hey, I'm here. Hello. Hey, what's up? Hey, man, no, I told you that you shouldn't come and murder those guys in my house yet because I haven't planted the evidence in the letter.
Yep.
He's like, Jesus, Bernie, we're on the phone.
Like, even I know that. This is Murder 101. What are you doing?
All right, come on, man. He's like, oh, yeah.
Ah, sorry, Paulie. You got me all worked up.
And just leaves the tape right in the machine.
And I think there's a moment here where Bernie starts to kind of sense, like, why is he here early?
You think so?
Why does he want to know where I live? Well, there's the moment where, and maybe that's coming up, but there's the moment where they kind of are talking, and he's like, and when he shows up at his house, and he's like, what are you doing here so early?
Paul even gets right to his house.
Yeah.
You can just cover that now.
And he's like, I wanted to,
So you want to see your place.
See how it was going, and
Thought we could record it out.
identify what's going on.
Voicemail.
A new outgoing voicemail for your answer.
Right. Do you remember that when you had to fill up the entire 30 seconds or 20 seconds?
Yes.
We would put music on to try to fill it and like turn it down. Hi, you've reached us. Sorry we can't come to the phone right now.
Believe it or not, Bernie
He's
is
walking
not
out
here.
there.
That's amazing. That was spectacular. But anyway.
I would always do voices. I would just be like, act as butthead. You would call my phone and just be like,
That's true. For the longest
Kurt's not
time,
here right now. Yeah.
Kurt's outgoing message was, I'm sorry, I'm not here right now. I'm walking into spider webs.
Yes.
Leave a message and I'll call you back.
Yeah.
The
Amazing.
lyrics from the Gwen Stefani song.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yeah. From No Doubt.
From a, for
No
a
doubt.
long
No
time.
doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are always fun. My uncle used to do this thing that would piss me off. He would just go, hello.
Yeah. And you'd,
He'd
hey.
start talking. Hey, hello. Yeah, no, I'm here. Yeah, I'm not. Leave a message. And I'll, you son of a.
I hate you.
Yes. Damn it.
Never calling Uncle Bob again.
Bill, but yeah, same
Bill.
difference.
Yeah. I didn't know which one.
It was your favorite one, Bill.
And if you didn't fill the whole
Uncle Bill.
time, then it was
There was
just
only a short time I didn't like Uncle Bill.
you had to fill it because it was just 10 seconds of silence anyway.
Yeah.
You're trying to leave a message like, it's going to beep? When's it going
Right.
to beep? So we would just keep it rocking.
Keep it rocking till the beep went off.
That's it.
That's
There's a
it.
song in there right there.
That's right.
Somebody wrote that. Yeah.
Paulie does show up at his house though and injects some death serum into his ass or whatever it is.
So he said ow, and then just immediate, like that was the fastest acting.
And he straightens up. It's almost like whatever it was pleasant. To a
Yeah,
certain extent.
right.
Like, oh, hey, what's up? And I'm dead.
Immediate rigor mortis or whatever.
No, it's just. Well, that's the thing is sometimes he is and sometimes he isn't.
I know.
Sometimes he's as loose as a cannoli and sometimes he's as
Fun fact, he wasn't
Rigid
actually
as a
dead
brownie.
throughout the filming. No. So he probably forgot to act. Which is a strange brew
he had
reference.
one job.
One job.
Act like a dead body.
That's
And
it.
he couldn't even do that consistently.
No, he kept a smirk on his face the whole time.
Yes, sometimes and sometimes he didn't. What happened?
I mean, he'd never been dead before in his defense. So
His first time. Larry and Richard jump on this ferry.
The wrong ferry.
They're idiots, first of all. 'Cause I have been alive. I am a moron. So I fully acknowledge I'm not a smart man. Okay,
I'm not a smart man.
I'm not. I know what love is, but
Jenny. Yeah, and use like peas and carrots.
that's right.
nice.
I know when the ferry's coming or going. Okay,
I know by the way of which direction it is
That's
going.
what I'm saying. Not-
Yeah.
I'm a very stupid person, and not once have I ever mistaked a boat that was coming for one that was going.
Yep.
Not once.
Usually when it's really close to the dock.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there
It's
were
not-
It's really
so many babes around. Maybe
When
he
it's
wasn't looking.
coming closer
Yeah.
to the dock. It's arriving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's going further away from the dock.
Yeah.
The
it's
bruises they
leaving.
must have had from diving over that bar. Just
seriously.
ribs bruised.
I do like when they stand up though and they're like, ugh. And he's just like, I hate you.
jeez.
I hate you, Larry.
Doesn't know when the boat is coming. So Larry and why is there a party on the ferry?
With so much alcohol.
Is that the 80s, man? Was it just like
It's literally just a ride to get your cars across.
and is
the
it a
thing.
free ferry that you didn't need
I don't
tickets
think
for?
so. I don't think so.
Right?
I've never seen a party on a ferry before.
I don't know. Maybe I've
mean,
never been to New York,
You
so
go to the
I have no
Hamptons
idea.
a lot?
I've never been to the Hamptons, but if that's the
I've
case,
never been to the island.
cool.
Yeah. With keg cups.
Larry and Richard show up, and yeah, there were keg cups. They just had keg cups.
Yep.
So the
Fancy.
the driver of the ferry's just spitting a keg up on the top there, and
Yep.
he's got this cocktails on a platter, and okay.
Okay.
Larry and Richard show up finally to Bernie's house, and in comes Tawny, who has been swimming around in dental floss, and she wants.
But with her shoes on. Shoes and giant wool socks.
Max in my house, who's 13, was trying to cover my 10-year-old John's eyes.
Oh, very,
Part of it.
very.
But he just like left the thumb open just so he can go, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Tawny runs in, just steals Lomax's boat, which apparently is a thing that happens regularly.
Yeah, he
Make
just
sure you
lends
tell
it out
him.
to everybody.
You tell him.
Yeah. Make sure you tell him that this is what's happening.
Don't forget.
He introduced himself as, "Hi, I'm horny." That was
Yes.
That was the hilarious line.
And she just kind of like patted him on the chest, like, nice, but not. I'm out.
No,
Yeah.
I'm out of here. I'm here.
That's one of those
try.
parenting moments that I was like, so do you see? And I just started talking about whatever was on the screen. Like, that is a cool shirt.
Yep.
Worked out.
She's like, "No, I'm here for a very specific reason, Larry. I'm here to borrow this boat.
Thank you.
My eyes are up here."
Meanwhile, she walks away. His eyes are still drifting.
She doesn't walk away. She jogs away.
Sure.
As you would.
When you get boat keys, what are you supposed to do
What are
with
you
boat
supposed
keys?
to do with boat keys?
Just gotta
That's
go.
why she was jogging.
Yeah, you don't just walk. You're excited to get on the boat.
Walk, right?
He fell for it. Run.
I'm trying to move on. Larry, because he is who he is and how he is, just starts breaking into Bernie's champagne and opening.
Yeah,
stuff,
just popping.
Drinking it out of the bottle. That's
which is
Classy.
like the worst house guest to ever
Yeah.
have would be Larry. Okay, and this is when Richard discovers Bernie's.
that Larry shouldn't be his friend. No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Why?
Also
Okay.
that, but like, why do you have the succubus on, part of your life? But then he finds Bernie sitting in his office chair, which is where he was when he got injected with the death serum into his ass. And these guys are like, oh, he's sleeping.
Yeah.
He's sleeping. Doesn't wake up. Oh, I think he's meditating, he says at one point.
Yeah.
Which is something he would totally do.
Right. They pick him up.
That's how you get the blood circulating. You pick up someone.
You carry him over
Yeah.
to the next room, dump him face first into the couch.
Just break his actual
Just
neck
break
at this
his
point.
actual neck, sit him up, moving his head and arms around, and it takes these two idiots way too long to figure out that this guy is dead.
Yep.
I mean, it would be a dead giveaway.
You know what should be a dead giveaway? That like, oh, he's sleeping. Oh, no, he's meditating. Oh, we just slapped him around and moved him around and carried him and dumped him on his head and he didn't wake up. And I can't believe he needed the sunglasses on his face to make
Yes,
sure.
to see if he was breathing.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what's a dead giveaway? His eyes are open. Through this entire thing, you can see right through his sunglasses that his eyes are open.
Yeah.
I know that's a comedy and they want to be like, ooh, these two clowns can't really get their stuff
Yep.
together.
Yep.
But like, come on.
Yep.
At least Richard isn't that stupid. Right?
Yeah. And he ends up taking his pulse, I think. And he's like, I think he's dead.
On the back of the DVD, the Hollywood Reporter said, engagingly wacky and deliciously dark. Maybe because it was new at that time. Maybe there hadn't been a lot of film work done in this made-up genre in the middle.
This made up genre of
Dark comedies.
dead body.
Almost dark
hijinks.
comedy. Like,
Not quite. I do not think this is a dark comedy
No.
at all.
Well, I think they were just protecting themselves to be
Right.
like, 'cause especially at that time,
Right.
if they were breaking new ground, so to speak,
Yeah.
maybe it was we got to say what it is.
Sure.
Because if it's a comedy about death, automatically back then, that was probably a lot more darker.
I guess. I don't know. This is when Larry gets very selfish and says, why does this always happen to me? Right?
Yeah.
A guy who invites people over to their house and then dies. It's rude. It's tacky. It's all of those things. And then everybody starts to show up.
Yeah, a
at
floating
Bernie's house.
party shows up.
They all just come in. And I'm glad you said something because they have this party here all night long and not one bite of food
no snacks.
is seen anywhere. Not one.
Nor a wait staff or somebody to walk around and clean up glasses.
Nothing.
Because there was like 6 glasses left behind after the party, by the way. So they were either taking them with them,
Or they were all so drunk but still very polite
which is nice.
and cleaned up after themselves.
But no.
Maybe they were afraid Bernie would kill him.
Dude, I'm not,
Maybe they knew he was part of the mob.
maybe. But I'm not staying 5 minutes at a party that doesn't have a Rice Krispie treat or something.
On, or a Chex Mix.
Or a Chex Mix or a bowl of nuts.
Come on.
Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Something.
I'm out.
I would be so
A
out.
cheese pizza. Domino's
Give me
back then?
A Jack's frozen pizza. I don't care.
Tell someone to go to the Hampton 7-Eleven.
A tombstone.
Something.
Get it?
And what the hell is wrong with all of these people? Right? And to Larry and Richard's credit, they don't try to fool anybody right away.
Right.
Richard says, he's dead.
Yeah.
to like the people that are in there, and no one listens to them. And what the hell does it matter with all these other people in the party? They're like coming up and rubbing on him, and then they like girl tries to get drugs off of him, and other dude's trying to sell him a car.
Which they planted them on, like the killer planted the drugs, and then she was like, "Thanks, I didn't understand why."
Oh, I heard you were holding something for me,
Yeah,
Bernie. What's
but she
this up? And
was.
she crawls up all over him.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there propped up on the couch. The two like muscly dudes come over and like
Again, more voiceovers.
stare into space.
And it was awkward when he was speaking. The main pump you up guy who was talking at the time was like looking off to the side. He might have been reading it
He was staring straight into space.
or something. It was weird.
He's like, Bernie is down here. And a normal human person, when you're rubbing someone's shoulders, will talk down to that person, right?
Yeah. And
Or
he's
at
just
least talk
talking out
forward.
into space.
Talk forward if you want to cheat out, and then look down at that person. But he straight up looks like angled out this way. Well, man, we got to get you into the gym, Bernie. Okay, it's obviously you're skipping shoulder day, so let's get you in there, man. You never been this loose before. All the while maintaining this crazy eye contact with a producer on the other side of the camera line.
Going just almost.
And they could have at least cut to like the other workout guy or something.
Yeah, no, he
and
left
had the
immediately.
workout guy been like, yeah.
I think when you
just
have
so
that
there was
many
some
extras
sorta-
around, you don't have like time to keep doing new setups. They're just like, no, just roll and we got to get
Keep
it.
going.
Get out here.
Possibly.
Running out of sparkling cider here.
Larry has an idea. This is where he comes up with his genius idea. Bernie loved you, man. He loved you, Richard. And he would want us to not have our weekend. So let's just pretend he's not dead. Let's just pretend he didn't
Yeah.
die.
And Rich is like, this is ridiculous.
Rich,
no,
to his credit, he
I'm
says
going to
you're-
call the
Right.
police.
He says you're a disgusting human.
Yep.
And I was like, finally, he's starting to
It
get
took this long, but
it took
sure.
this long,
Yeah.
but you get it. And he's all about calling the police until Gwen shows up.
Yep.
And then he's like, we can wait 20 minutes to call the police.
We got, yeah, I got some time.
Take 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Larry
Yep.
tells him. And Larry goes back into the party to shoot his shot with this woman sitting by the fireplace. One of my actual times I laughed at this movie when he walks up and he does his cool flip of the cigarette
Right.
thing and he says, "Hi, I'm Larry." Off, Larry.
Yep. That's a real thing that happens. I like that. For sure.
I thought that was legitimately hilarious and well played.
And Gwen had 5 roommates. She didn't
Yes.
have to because apparently she's from a very rich family. So
Right.
I can see in the writing somewhere how they were like, oh, she really appreciates down to earth and she's trying to be down to earth despite. But that was like the least forced bit of it that I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But they were just like, no, more death humor. Let's just do that.
And Gwen, patches stuff up with him considering what happened a day ago real fast.
Yeah. Now, the men all around there were her father's age and were hitting on her grossly. So maybe that's what she's used to. And so again, she's like, compared to this group, you are still the creamest of the crop, so to speak.
Is that what it is? She has no one else to pick from. She's a 29-year-old college student.
Maybe
And
she's a spinster at that age.
She's a spinster. She's trying to hitch her wagon
it.
to somebody. He's
That's
a
it.
young up-and-comer. She's like,
Yeah.
I know that you told me that your parents got killed by a plane.
But you
crashing
wear
into the-
suspenders real well.
But the suspenders are nice. You're not terrible to look at. You got a little bit
You're
of
a
a weird
bit
face.
of a bit of a gentleman.
A bit. Right? I mean, he only lied
You're not Larry.
4
7.
times. 7?
Carry the 9.
Right,
No.
that many times. But you know what? It was kind of funny seeing your dad come out in his underwear.
I'm back. I literally left, but whatever.
I stormed out of your, and it took 30
I was mad at first, but
Yeah.
on my ride home, I was like, oh, that's pretty funny.
It took 30 seconds
Yeah.
that you patched it up. I was like, oh, hey, man, I've never solved a problem with a girl that fast in my life, but that's cool.
No?
Not in 30 seconds. Not after she stormed off.
Right?
Right?
No.
Never, ever.
It's been a few days.
So when the party wave came in, the good thing was now there
Yeah.
were a ton of alibis for how Bernie could have died.
Leave.
Right.
Have a couple hours of champagne and
Yep.
fun. And before the party empties out, leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one knows.
Done.
And I mean, there's fingerprints everywhere. So
Right.
you could just be like, oh, I was invited to the party.
I was at the party.
Although Larry's like, I want to stay all weekend for the booze and ladies.
And the ladies, that only one of those cares about him.
Right.
And it's not the ladies. Okay.
But if they get drunker and drunker, and I think that's why they were like, oh, I guess Bernie's just passed out. I guess that probably happened a lot, maybe. So maybe that's a tiny reason why it wasn't completely insane.
Because this is the first of many times where I was like, you could leave right now.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Right now. And there's about 9 more times
Yes.
where I'm like, this is it, boys.
I had
Golden
that
opportunity.
too.
Yeah. Now.
Only the second time watching it, though.
Yeah, right.
First time I was all in. I was just like, all right, I'm in. I got it. Sure.
Hey, yeah, boy.
And then I was like, wait a second. They could have left at this moment.
That's right.
Right now.
And then it repeated.
Yes.
I kept going, they could leave right now,
Right now,
too.
That's it. But Gwen's
They got the
that.
boat. They could have left.
Go.
She's in that sweet, sweet French braid, though.
Yes, that's the thing. She's got that French braid, which is like the French horn.
Which is like the
French
French
horn
farce.
of braids.
Right.
And you start to feel the things.
It's
Okay?
my theory.
It's what I'm saying.
They
And
play
you're
it
like,
so you have to feel.
That's same thing with the French braids.
Right.
Girls put in the French braids, so you got to feel something. Okay. And it worked, man. Gwen was like, "Oh, did you see these though? I don't know if you saw."
Just whapped him right in the eye with it. He's like, no, I see it now. Thank
It was
you.
gross when she walked. She tried to go to see Bernie to thank him, and
Yeah.
she didn't get to Bernie because these dudes stopped her. Who said
More
that they
great voiceover work.
Yeah,
I didn't say that right. Great,
Voiceover.
more great voiceover work.
Yeah.
they literally say out loud that they went to college with her father.
Yes.
Okay, those words came out, and those same guys that were friends of her dad
Yep.
Yeah.
said, "I'd like to see your clothes crumpled up on my floor."
Yeah. It's a nice outfit. Look
But
nice
I don't
crumpled
doubt
up on my
that
floor.
happens.
Yeah.
I bet that is a everyday.
Oh, I'm not doubting that at all.
Gross.
But it's disgusting to witness.
People say it to me all the time.
I know, dude. Don't you ever get tired of people
Yeah.
saying like,
I'm not
"I'd
a piece
rather
of meat."
you were naked in my room
Yeah.
than here doing my toilet."
Yeah.
Whatever it is you're
all the
doing.
time. Yeah.
Right?
That's
You
a
got the
nice butt crack you got showing.
You got the Pummer's
You invite
crack
me in? Whoa, what? No, sir.
Right.
Please.
Once the crack is out, they're like, "How much for the rest?"
And I was like, whoa, this is not a free install.
I'm trying to lay some pipe.
Yeah.
Not like that.
I know
Okay.
it's large, but that's not, no, never mind.
The crack?
No, the pipe.
So also, I didn't have anything else. I just wanted to say that.
So also, I'll piggyback on that. So also,
You brought it up.
they dump Bernie over the railing because she's on her way to try and get to him.
Yeah.
So they just dump him over the railing of the deck.
Yeah.
Like a sack of meat.
He should
And he
be so
just,
bruised,
flips right over.
in terrible shape. Just
Because the blood pools when you die.
I guess, but
Right? We're not bringing science into this movie.
They
that's for
haven't
sure.
yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No.
Why would they?
Here we get date number 2 at the lighthouse.
Oh, yeah.
so let's go get the beautiful view from a lighthouse.
Yes.
Come
You
on.
can see nothing.
It brightened his day.
At night, a lighthouse looks onto an empty, dark ocean. And that's it. Right?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
True.
He was beaming.
They climb up. Nice. They climb up this lighthouse. You never been in a lighthouse before? No. He also must have never read about a lighthouse before because he gets up to the top and he's like, "So how do these things work, huh? Let me look.
Let
right
me just stare right. And she's like, no, don't do it.
I thought they were going to say the light bulb was so hot it was going to burn him when I was watching it. It was
right.
I know what happened, but I was expecting some crazy, and
Yes.
it was just less crazy. He fell down.
He just stared right into the sun, basically,
Yeah.
of this lighthouse, fell down the open trap door.
Yep. Why
rolled
trap
down
door?
the
Why
stairs.
trap door?
Yeah, I don't know.
What does every lighthouse have a trap door or just some stairs?
Should the door? Yeah.
Shut after you go up there, you would think maybe?
I don't know.
You can lift it up.
He falls into
Apparently,
the
he
hole.
was blinded by love.
He is, and she's into it.
Yeah. Well, he
Okay.
fell for her heart.
He could have burned that lighthouse to the ground, and she would have been like, "It was kind of funny,
It was funny when you fell.
right?
You
The
were
way
just
you
so
lit it on
cute.
fire.
Yeah.
She is now it makes sense now that I realize how old she is. She is desperate. It's the only
I
reason.
really need this date.
Because
I was like, you're not a college girl. But again, just suspend your disbelief. Suspend your disbelief. Suspend your disbelief. Let go.
she has to carry his ass out of the lighthouse, and it still worked. Because as soon as she sits him down on the beach, it's makeout city.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's like time to down. They're down to clown.
Yeah.
Okay, they're making out on the beach,
Getting
and
all
he's like,
sandy.
I can't believe the falling down the stairs worked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that every time I see her now. She's like,
It's gonna be a thing.
the biggest klutz in the world.
Yep.
And Bernie,
Washes up on
who the tide had grabbed off the beach,
Yeah.
washes up next to them.
Yeah.
And she's looking at, he goes, why is this happening to me? It's happening to both of us.
Yeah. Her eyes are shut. And he's literally just looking over.
I'm getting so uncomfortable.
And I just love the whole like
It was funny. Like it was funny, but he should be waterlogged. He should be so disgusting now. Just water.
He should.
Ugh.
He should, but he's not.
No, it's they probably just pulled him by a rope in the water.
all they did.
Which was funny.
And he stands her up. He's like, we can't do this on the beach.
Flowers. Flowers.
You deserve candles.
Yep.
And music.
everything.
And
better.
everything. All. And she's like, what? What do you?
We were just about to. He's like, no.
Oh, not like this.
Not like this.
What do you think this is? I know what you did last summer on the beach. Never.
Where are you?
She's like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah. What are you waiting for?
Oh, and he chases her off. He could chase her off with a stick, and she'd come back the next day and be like, "What's up?
Hi.
Hey,
So
Anna, you told me to get the hell away from you, and we ended our date kind of weird, and you said get lost, but it was kind of funny."
yeah. Was it even a date? Whatever. I was trying to thank someone and you pushed me away from him. Whatever. It's
Yeah,
fine.
whatever. We're good. We're good.
Yep.
Back at the house, they rescue Bernie from the surf, and him and Larry get him into bed, and then
As wet as he was.
just soaking wet.
Yeah, and
They
then they're
didn't-
dry the
They
next
didn't
scene.
show him like
Yeah.
toweling Bernie off.
No.
Nope.
Or I'm assuming they didn't sponge
No.
bathe him. Okay.
Because he wore the same outfit.
Because he's
all
the same
time.
clothes. They
Yep.
put him this scene. They put him in bed, and his girlfriend shows up.
Yeah.
At the house.
She's
And I was like-
just cussing him out.
To my kid, I'm like, do we need some snacks? Does anyone want to go get some snacks?
Well, luckily there's nothing.
they showed nothing.
They show nothing in this movie.
No, it's just the bad guy number 2
But
going
man,
there
oh
to
man.
spy on.
Yeah.
Do they infer some horrific things in this
Yep.
film?
Sure.
So she stumbles up, apparently drunk,
Yep.
up the walkway, and her mascara is all messed, and she's like, Bonnie, you better not be in there with another woman, Bonnie. Right? Comes in the house. Who are you guys to these two? Like, oh, we're just house guests.
Yep, it's fine.
Where's Bonnie? Oh, he's not here. I'm going to tear this whole place apart.
Empties one closet.
Comes back in with a kitchen knife.
Okay.
Like Mike Myers, he's in the bedroom.
Yep.
And and I thought they played this pretty good. So the boys are like, well, the jig is up.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're done.
We'll wait for a scream, and it's been fun, but maybe she'll stab him a couple times, and then she'll think she killed him. Whatever, right?
Yeah. Right.
Great. They sit down in the bar area and wait for a response.
Yeah. They pour themselves a drink.
That never happens.
Nope.
And outside there is a mob guy spying on what's happening.
Yeah.
in the
It's
bedroom.
the bad guy number 2, the one that was spying on the girlfriend to begin
to
with.
make
That's his
sure,
job.
like
Yeah.
he follows her around, right? So-
That's just his job as a mob guy.
Yeah. So he calls Paulie to say, hey, you didn't do your job because Bernie's still alive. Now, why would he think Bernie's still alive?
Because she's riding a stiff.
Because she has sex with Bernie's corpse in the bedroom
Yeah.
for 20 minutes.
Are you going to bleep that out for our family podcast?
Has sex with a corpse?
For 20 minutes. Just like a weird sentence.
It is a weird sentence, but it's she walks out, so they don't show anything. Like
I don't know
No.
why it's a dark
So
comedy.
she relates
Yeah.
with Bernie, who is
Yes.
no longer with us
that's
for a longer period of time than
That-
one would expect.
that is a much better way of saying
There you
that.
go.
We shouldn't think about how she put her tongue into his
No.
mouth.
So the funny thing is when she comes downstairs. I actually have something to say about this.
No, please.
It's
humming to
it's the worst ADR of any movie ever, and she's just like Wookie cookie, yeah. Her mouth is not moving at all, but they just
So the people in editing in post production were like, she doesn't seem like it's post coitus
Yeah.
enough, right?
Yeah.
So she has to be like, oh, just had some sex and it was great, like basically, right?
Yeah.
What they want her to do.
second
Right.
song for the album. Let's keep going.
And she's like, yada yada da da da, and sits down and she's like,
I need a drink.
give me a drink. Oh,
Scotch.
Bonnie, he was amazing up there, and I'm like,
I love that they both turn and look at each other like, what?
So that's one of the
What
more
happened?
real moments of the film, right?
just some light necrophilia,
That's when you bleed out, right?
It's
that's when you get a cut and you bleed for too long.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Big words.
Yep.
No?
No.
No.
My bad.
See, when a guy and a girl really love each other,
Yeah.
but one of them is dead, necrophilia.
Got it.
Okay. So it just seemed really weird in this movie to go to this place, but they did, and that's fine. What doesn't make it just doesn't. How?
Different people are into different things. You just might not be able to put your mind in that place, and that's okay.
Okay, but nothing is functioning.
No.
He's everything in his body has shut down. Everything.
Rigor mortis? I don't know. I don't know.
Is that where it sets in first? I don't even know.
Oh my gosh.
Again,
science.
Need science.
Don't know. But we could move on.
It's
also.
like rubbing up on a rack of ribs. Like it's like a lifeless,
Or at least one of them.
it's a lifeless sack of meat. It's like going to something you'd get at the butcher's office and being like, that was so amazing.
That was
just
delicious.
A slab of beef.
I just slathered it in sauce.
I'm not saying anything other than it just doesn't.
What happens next?
The next morning,
I love pickle.
Just gotta keep it going.
the next morning, Larry is playing Monopoly with Bernie's dead body. and has tied a string around his wrist, so when people walk by on the beach,
Which is funny.
Pull the string, say hello. That's
that part's
hilarious.
funny.
Oh, I thought it was very good. Richard wakes up with a 5 o'clock shadow that looks like he was asleep for a week, and not just the evening, because Larry does not have one. Comes outside and is so pissed off that they're still here doing this. He's like, I'm going in there and I'm going to call the police again. Gwen shows up, this time at the front door. It's a little bit of some chess pieces moving around, so I'll try to explain this best I can. Gwen shows up at the front door in the house. Richard goes in and he's like, I am going to admit to you what's happening, and tells her he's dead. And she's like, now I think you're lying about that. Just like your parents were dead and your aunt is dead.
She has a
or
point.
whatever, and that's fine. Outside, Larry is again dumping Bernie's body because he's not ready for the jig
Over the rail, right.
for the jig to be up yet. Dumps it, from the chair over the rail onto Paulie, who has come back to do the job again because the hitman is back.
Yeah, because the number 2 guy, I think you said, called Paulie and was like, "Hey, you didn't do the job."
Right.
Yeah.
And so he falls on him, and Paulie thinks Bernie is attacking him and chokes the life out of him.
Yeah.
Again.
And takes his pulse this time.
And can't tell that he's choking a dead person.
No.
He is easily the most slapsticky guy in the whole film.
100%.
Very Rodney Dangerfield.
100%.
So the only way that I wasn't like, this is so stupid, is that this guy is doing that throughout the entire film. But yet, still real stupid.
But then Larry blows Richard out of the water because when he comes out there to prove it to her, he's like, what are you talking about? Bernie just went to go get some snacks or whatever. And
Yeah, he left.
Because nobody's had snacks for
this
the
whole
entire
time.
film.
Right? Okay, fine. So she storms off thinking that he lied to her again. Don't worry. You can patch it up with her in another 30 seconds next time you see
all
her.
it takes.
No big deal. They go, and this is when they go inside because he's had it at this point. He's like, I'm calling the cops. And this is when they listen to the answering machine and actually hear his confession about what they were going to do to the 2 guys, right? We're going to kill them. I'll plant the letter, all this stuff, okay? Yeah. And so they finally have heard, oh my gosh, they were going to kill us. This is crazy. Where's the note that he references? Let's find the note. But let's look for it like we're Tasmanian devils.
In one very, very small space.
In one very tiny space. They dumped a tray of nuts out. They like that. Clearly, the letter's not in your tiny tray of nuts.
Right.
They just throwing papers.
Maybe rich people do that. They don't know. They don't know.
The clock is not ticking. There's nobody else there at the house.
Sure.
Right. So there's not really a sense of urgency.
Why
the urgency?
Destroy the office and
Well,
put your
he
fingerprints
may
all over
decompose eventually. I suppose that's
Yes.
the only clock we have going.
Okay.
He was making music? I don't.
Yeah. Zowie wowie. That was some good stuff. That was her song. Sorry.
So good.
They find the letter. The letter says that the whole thing is that they killed him over this $2 million to pay for Larry's sex change operation.
He's immediately worried about that.
He's really worried about what people are going to think about him, other than the fact that like this is the only copy of the letter that exists and no one knows anything. So just put it in your pocket and
again,
boing it.
Boing it.
Right, boing it.
Thank you.
Very good. Ultimately, I'm starting to slog down here a little bit because this is also quite just ridiculous. But ultimately, he goes, look, he says in the message, don't kill him while I'm here. So if we just keep Bernie around us, then this killer who's coming to get us won't get us.
Right.
I felt like the movie took a turn straight downward from this point, right? Like you get there, like as ridiculous as the premise is, it's mildly enjoyable.
Yeah.
You got this guy, you have a party, Larry's trying to have his fun party. They got the body there. Oh, hey, what's up? Nobody knows he's dead. That's kind of funny, whatever. But at this point, now that they know, the rest of the movie from here on out is a one big waste of time until they get to the inevitable ending.
Sure.
And it's just like nothing but sight gags.
Right.
And that's it for the next 20 minutes.
And I think this was the favorite part of the film for my kids.
Yeah.
Because they were just seeing his head bounce along stuff and him in the water and
Right.
all that. When I'm like, I can't watch it anymore.
Right. But that's all, at this point, that's all it is. It's slapstick and sight gags
Yeah.
for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Right. There has been, and I know it sounds, probably anyone, I have a feeling we've been very negative so far. And anyone that's listening to this that's a big fan of Weekend at Bernie's is probably thinks we're trashing it. I actually think up to this point, the movie is mildly entertaining and enjoyable.
Sure.
As an offbeat, kind of weird comedy.
Yeah. Especially, I can't say definitively that it's groundbreaking, but I think it did have some things that hadn't been done.
Yes.
Helped open the envelope, so to speak.
So kudos to these guys for that.
Yes. And not the chocolate bar.
It was obvious that the premise was so paper thin that they eventually reach a point where there's no more script.
Yeah.
And it's just,
what do we do now?
Funny things can we do with a dead body?
Yeah.
Or we've got a whole bunch of ideas we didn't use yet.
Right.
Let's put them in.
Let's put them all in. So it is what
So they open the briefcase, right?
Yeah. They open the briefcase, they get the letter, they get the money. They're like, we got to get out of here. Okay. So they got to use Bernie to get the hell off the island.
Would the money be the first form of cryptocurrency?
There was the little smart arse kid who's like, how'd you like to kiss this? Like that little kid who's
Yeah,
burying
because
him.
they go to find where Bernie is and he's being buried by this kid.
Everything but his face,
Everything with his face so they can find him.
so he can breathe.
Right. This kid is okay. Yes, he's an ass. And then later on comes in with a toy gun, like to come back and give them a
Yeah,
hard time.
that part I didn't get. I'm like, why is he?
Yeah, I don't know. Why is he back in their house?
Yeah, and why
Torment them
does?
some more?
Why would anyone?
Because they drag Bernie out of the sand and try to vacuum him off in
Yeah.
the house, and the kid shows up shooting a gun that sounds like a gun, but it's a toy gun.
Yes.
So it scares them to think it's like the murderer's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That part I didn't get.
That little kid grew up to direct the Borat movie.
Are you joking?
No joke. He directed the second, not the original one, but the second one, the subsequent movie film or whatever, the second one they did. Yeah. That was
the front
that
door.
kid that was burying Bernie there is a director, has directed lots, started off directing like comedy specials for like Patton Oswalt and stuff. But now the most recent film he did was Borat 2. So,
Wow. Unreal.
isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, I didn't like the first one. So
I'm just wondering what his like growing upbringing was, right?
Yeah. No, I have no idea.
Because he was definitely following in that.
Sure.
it was Weekend at Bernie's. It just got him going. He was like, "This is great."
And
I've got the bug.
Even though he's done recent stuff,
Yeah.
big stuff, his IMDb picture is still him from this movie.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
Nice.
still like a little kid headshot.
amazing.
Yeah. Good stuff. So I clicked on it assuming, well, this is all he did was kid stuff because here's his kid picture on IMDb. Nope. Not the case.
Wow.
All right. So they want to escape the island. They need Bernie. They drag him down the walkway on a wagon. Goosh, 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 goosh. Head bouncing off the thing as it gets down there. Load him up onto the Porsche mobile.
Yes.
And they're driving to try to get to the ferry. And they're evading people who's chasing them down about some deal.
Yeah, it was the guy from the party that was trying to make a deal about his Porsche.
The tennis pro or whatever
Yeah.
the hell it was.
And when they avoid him, they go through these tracks that have been made in the sand where they have done other takes of the same scene.
I love it. They evade him every time. It works every time. 12 times they did it.
it.
And every time the guy's like, where'd they go?
It was a Scooby-Doo episode.
We keep doing this.
It was Old Man Johnson the whole time.
These two idiots get to the ferry in time and they're like, a ferry's leaving. But how the hell would they know? They can't tell the difference between if a ferry is leaving or coming or going. But they're like, what are you going to do? We tie Bernie's legs to our legs and we'll run up to the boat.
By our shoelaces.
By our shoelaces and say, hold the boat. Hold the boat.
Which is kind of like when you do those three-legged races.
Yes.
You kind of do that. So that
Right.
actually sort of made sense a little bit.
Oh, it sort of made sense.
Maybe.
People do a three-legged race. It looked natural. Every time you look down at the goat, you're like, yeah, there's always three people joined at the hip running along going, hold the boat.
These rich folks got to stay busy some way because...
It looked real natural.
Okay, no, it didn't.
Meanwhile, Paulie's on the boat going, he's alive still?
I know,
Yeah.
that's pretty dumb. But again, that's the only character in the whole film where I buy the complete, like, he thinks things are real. It's really happening because he stayed consistent.
They go back to the house for the boat keys because they missed the ferry. They're like, oh, well, Tony brought back the boat keys. Let's just take the boat and we'll get out of here that way. They think the killer is showing up while they're getting ready, and it's the freaking beach bum that was kicked. Well, I'll show him kick me in the butt. I'm like, again, not speaking. Comes in. They beat him up. The freaking
knock him out with a log.
Yeah, the gardener comes in. He knocks him out.
He takes his gardening very seriously. If you saw that, he's like, I have an idea. Oh.
Boom, gets brained with a log again. They stuff both of those guys in the closet. And they take
which is
off.
not a place where I stick my vegetables.
They go out to the boat, get Bernie set up in there, and these idiots try to leave without. This is the stuff I'm supposed to laugh at.
And this is where you're saying it becomes sight gags.
Yeah, I'm like,
everything's
what do you mean
everything's an
leave?
overplayed joke.
The boat's not tied up. Like, I can't look around and notice that the boat is tied up.
Yeah.
We're just gonna
Adrenaline maybe blinded
keep
them? I don't know.
flooring it until the boat flies out of here. And then they've never, like, I know I've never driven a boat, but I know how to steer a wheel.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these guys are just going to crash into everything possible just because they need something to happen in the movie to laugh
Yeah.
at.
It's funny, right?
Right?
Yeah, I had my blanket just like over my face till it was over because I just don't like when things get really like the. You know how in Seinfeld, like the TV show in the middle, it gets like the height of all the frustrations. That's
Yes.
when I have to just be like, I can't. So that's me. That's me.
Got it. They almost crash into every boat. At one point, Bernie falls out and is being dragged behind them. Like at one point, Richard flies out of the boat. And,
Yep.
It's just like, guys.
They come back, they pick him up, then they reverse it,
His
they
body
crash into a
should
boat.
be just in
Shredded
no,
wheat.
yeah, no shape
Right?
to be.
He's being pulled,
Shown.
crashed into buoys. Dong.
Yeah.
Bong.
Just head banging off of them.
Right.
Yeah.
You hear something? Like every
Well, and of course, everybody that's driving by in another boat too is going like, "Hey, Bernie, good job skiing, pal."
Boo, boo, boo.
Yeah.
Yeah, face first skiing is
Face first skiing
Pretty
is
good.
the best kind of skiing for sure. They run out of gas. They run out of gas and they paddle away on his dead body, like at
Yes.
the end of Jaws.
And I do love that they're both wearing life preservers, but Bernie apparently is dead enough that he's buoyant.
no. He should be waterlogged.
Right?
He would bring them down.
All the way down.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, they're just going to get out of here like they did in Jaws on his body. But no, they paddled back to Bernie's house.
Yeah.
I guess that
well,
was
and
what was
again,
closest.
that was my first where I went like, where are they going?
Right.
Like, are they trying to get to New York? Like, where are they? What was with all the driving then?
I'm saying, these
Is
last-
it that long to go from the ferry all the way back to Bernie's house?
That's what the last 20 minutes were just like. It was just nonsense. They literally went in a circle for no reason. Ended up back at Bernie's house for the. Finale of the movie,
Yep.
and we just played with ourselves for the last 15 minutes
Yeah.
because
We had
the
no
movie,
idea
the
what was
movie
going
had
on.
nothing else to do.
Just dragged you along. Yeah.
Right? It was like, well, we got to get to 90 minutes.
Yep.
And so they get to the freaking back to the house. Gwen sees them, confronts them, and he again is super mean. Or don't want to be rude, but get the hell out of here. He says to her, right? And she's like, I'm not getting the hell out anywhere. Sees that Bernie's dead and starts to freak out. Okay, and he's like, oh, do I look like somebody that would kill? Well, Larry says it where he's like, well, do I look like somebody that would kill someone? Right? Just then, the two guys break out of the closet.
Yep.
That was some good comedic timing.
It was. And then it could have been two things. One, those are two killers. Or two, we've tried to kill them and put them in the closet. I wasn't
Right.
sure which way they were going with that.
Right, we don't know. But they knock both of those guys out with champagne bottles.
Sure.
Paulie breaks in and shoots Bernie right in the chest.
There's no blood.
No blood at all. Okay, because it's all in his ass because he's been sitting down for 2 days. Okay.
Gross.
Shoots him. It's true. There's an ass full of blood. You ever just walk around with
Nope.
your pants
Nope.
full? Do you remember what that feels like?
That was the name of my band in high school.
Walking around with your pants full?
No, ass full of blood.
Ass full.
So then another thing in the movie that happened
It was a heavy metal rock band.
was
Oh, my ass full of blood.
so nobody noticed he never changed his clothes
No, never.
or he never started to smell bad.
And they dry really quick.
Yeah.
He would be waterlogged, especially if they paddled
It
back.
was all tucked in or whatever.
Okay. after Paulie breaks in and shoots Bernie, he starts to shoot at them.
Yeah, and then there's like a whole like comedic
chase around the
Yeah.
It's Rusty, apparently.
He's a horrible. It was like Horse and Harry Dunn. It was like, you're a horrible shot.
Yeah.
Harry.
Right? Like he just didn't hit anything.
He became a stormtrooper after
They're
that.
standing right there.
What if they hit you in the face?
That's right. Exactly. But they're these geniuses. This guy just came in and shot Bernie, and the way you're going to get him to say, we're friends of Bernie's.
Yep.
Oh, well, if you're friends of the guy I just murdered,
Yeah, it's fine.
then I won't kill you.
Like the guys who could ruin the good thing that was going for the people in the restaurant.
Right. Perfect.
Well, I love your response to it. He's
Right.
like, I don't like Bernie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't like you. Like,
Exactly.
I'm a little mad at him right now.
you're an idiot.
They split up at one point. It's now Richard and the girl hiding up in the bedroom, and Larry is sneaked down the stairs. And Paulie, the hitman, allows himself to get kicked in the nuts by moving Bernie's
His
leg.
foot. Yeah. Because Bernie ends up like toppling over and ends up
Yeah.
on his back, and his leg's like up on the
Right.
rail of the stairs.
Yeah.
And then he goes to move it just to walk around it, and then it gives him a nut shot.
So he shoots him again.
Yeah.
And just at that point, he's out of bullets. And so this is how they end this movie. Larry ties him up with a phone cord
Yep.
and
Yeah.
boxes him.
And not just the phone cord, but the phone came along with the phone cord.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know anything about Cat 5 cable. It might pull the phone down, but
Yeah.
it ain't coming with the phone.
No.
It will pull out of the Cat 5 cable.
Yes.
And I just laughed because I'm like, really?
It's not even the
Yeah.
cord like the swirly cord that you have on the
On the receiver, right.
It's the cord that goes from the phone to the wall.
So
Right.
you were on board until right then.
Yeah, then I was like,
Cables.
wait, that's
over.
not.
No.
And this grown ass adult hitman is, but whoa, it's phone cord. Urgh. I can't do anything now.
No. And then it's like through his mouth, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like gagging him. And then he's even trying to talk to Bernie at one point. He like lays on him, and he's like,
Right.
Bernie, we were friends, Bernie. And I was like, what? Why are you even?
But I think
you
my
know
kids,
he's dead.
My kids were entertained by that.
Oh, were they?
So that
The cops show up and all is forgiven. They even brought a straitjacket for Paulie. That was nice of them to do. Cops don't usually bring straitjackets.
especially the ones who were like, "We'll call you back. He's on the beach." Like those
Yeah.
cops are the ones who had the straitjacket with them.
Right. Yep, exactly. Gwen is laughing like, wasn't this all a great weekend?
Yeah,
You know,
all three of them. It's the classic, like,
doesn't
what
care.
a crazy hijinked weekend we had.
she went from freaking out about him being dead to asking no questions about anything, and they're all just laughing on the
Nope,
beach.
they're all in on it now.
And then Bernie's getting hauled off in the ambulance, but they back into him, send the gurney down the freaking walkway. He lands on the beach right behind them, and somebody's like, "Hey, Bernie," and they all see him and freak out, and that's the end of the stinking
Yep.
movie.
I do want to say, though, I think it's funny that the ambulance driver stopped to talk to two girls in a bikini. Because
well,
they're
of
like,
course.
oh, what happened? And he's like not paying attention. He just backs into Bernie.
Oh yeah,
I actually thought the ambulance guy was not really an ambulance guy, like one of the bad guys taking him away just to get the evidence out of the way. That's what I thought it was.
maybe a coroner,
That would have been smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
not so much an ambulance guy.
Well, they say autopsies are a dying practice.
Oh really? You guys ready to give some awards out to this movie?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, I am.
right.
Wait, what? There's awards?
There's awards, but I mean, before we do that, we have to try and improve it. And I apologize out there to all the mega fans of Bernie's that think this is already a perfect movie and that doesn't need to be improved at all. But I think there is one way we could improve it, and that's by putting Arnold Schwarzenegger into this film.
There was one answer
Oh, what's that?
to where he goes.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, but I was done, so
Well,
I want to hear it.
there was the lifeguard pump you
Oh,
up
those guys?
Yes.
Bernie, listen to me. He's very loose right now. It's time for you to get in here and get your shoulders jacked.
Yep.
Right?
That's it.
At least I know Arnold can deliver a line without looking off
To the side.
into the multiverse or wherever the hell the guy was
Exactly.
staring off into. Right?
Yes.
Arnie would have been hilarious in this movie
Yep.
if he was Richard, right?
Yes.
Straight laced guy,
Yeah.
wears a suit. And he comes in, he says, "Listen to my friend here. Do not disturb my friend. He's dead tired." Which is actually a line from Commando. But he could
it's
use
counting.
that. Okay.
Maybe.
All right, fine. He goes,
By the way, IMDb just asked me to rate Weekend at Bernie's.
"Oh, please do." Listen to me. He's not dead, okay? He's just trying to rest in peace.
It says. Which you
I
should
love
be.
it.
You should be.
I don't want him anywhere else. I thought it would just be comedically funny to see him as Bernie, but
Yeah.
as Rich.
I think,
come on.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great stuff here. Playing along with us, we got Mike Harding himself coming down from the Great White North of Canada and says, "Look, I'd love to see Arnold as Bernie, just to watch Larry and Richard struggle to haul his
Heck
dead
yeah.
weight around."
You know what? Okay.
Also,
Convinced.
That kid would be there for 4 days trying to bury him.
yes,
You'd be up to his nipples.
I don't want to do this anymore.
My arm burns. That's because you're a weakling. Bury me.
I'm dead, but I can still talk. Because every time he pressed down on my stomach, even though I'm dead, it still goes. "Ah."
Could you see Larry just trying to do the pulley system
Oh, dude.
to like pull his arm up to wave, just like
Right.
heaving a rope, and the arm's just like. Ugh.
Larry, when he came up for the big, what if Arnold was Larry?
He'd be the tool bag.
And he was like, "Listen, they have an idea.
Let's enjoy our
He
weekend."
might have kicked the bucket, but we can kick it back." No?
You were waiting. You were like,
Yes,
Okay.
I like it.
All right, fine. He goes, also imagine Arnold's limp body flopping behind the speedboat, just obliterating channel markers.
Bong! But like the buoy is flying unattached from the rope.
if he was the buoy,
Sending shrapnel
it
everywhere.
would also be interesting if Arnold just was the buoy.
No, was it,
Yeah.
instead of a dong, it says, "Bah."
So Arnold Schwarzenegger would be the buoy.
Brian Boucher.
Got it.
Brian Boucher playing along says, as fun as it would be to see Larry and Richard carrying around Arnold, I think it'd be funny to see him play the kid who keeps burying him in the sand. You want to kiss my ass? I'm going to bury this man here. Look, he's dead.
Mind your business.
Mind your business. You can kiss it right here. Spanks himself.
And then he just
But
comes
his
around
arm's
the
so
corner.
big he can't point back
They see him crawling as he's coming around the couch with the fake gun.
because he's bigger than the couch.
Yeah.
I see you, cutie pie.
Oh God, he's gonna kill me. Oh God, he's gonna gun.
Oh, my
Bang
God.
bang.
Eva Somerville writing in, and Eva says, Terry Kaiser as Bernie did a fabulous job. She says, first time caller, long time listener.
Hey.
But I think it would have been hilarious if Arnold played Bernie and we got to watch them fumble even more as they lugged his massive body around the island. Yes.
200 points.
Hey, there we go.
I would have loved seeing him go in the wagon and then the wheels just like flop, flop, flop
Right.
because they start bending because the sheer mass weight of Arnold Schwarzenegger would crush the wagon.
Larry, they're doing the three-legged race thing. Hold the boat, and he makes his arm go up, and it just knocks out Richard.
Gives him a black eye. Busts his nose.
Now he's carrying two limp bodies around. Taylor Greene says, I don't want to put him in a main role. Too unbelievable if Richard and Larry had to try and lug around his massive dead body. So I'll go with Klaus, the bodybuilder. That's what you were saying, Nicole. Imagine him really cranking away on Bernie's dead head. Just snaps it off in front of everyone. Oh my God, look at this. Somebody's a doctor in here. Look what's happened to this man. His head's come off. Get out of here. And then Dave Parkinson, we got somebody from the Evas from the UK. We got Dave from Australia, Mike from Canada. This is the international award.
What a wonderful world.
For this, right? Dave, don't call him Paul Parkinson, says Arnold as Bernie. It's a bit obvious, but I think the pictures of them trying to move him around, I mean, it writes itself. Come on.
Yep.
I think it's clear. I want him to play Paulie. Okay. I want Arnold to play Paulie. He could do those big like things when he sees him. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Stop the boat! Get out now! He
Just
comes
jumps
back,
and
just
starts
jumps in.
paddling.
Wearing that little,
Pre-sticky.
exactly. Yes.
Arnold, you have to get back to the island because he's alive, man. I saw him hooking up with the boss's girl. He's already dead. I killed him. I did it with my hand. No, he's not dead. He may be as dead as a doornail, but I'm the hammer.
I'm bringing the hammer down.
But the sparkle in your eyes is worth it.
I'm making him tawny.
Oh, Tawny
Just come running in
in the same outfit.
yeah. Why wouldn't you?
I'm here at the bottom of the boat. Okay, I gotta take the keys.
I need the
But when he
keys.
turns around and you see what he's working with back there, that would be crazy.
Just ass
He
dimples.
just flexes and puts somebody's eye out. Do you know what I'm
Dangerous.
saying?
Wouldn't it be great if he was like, "Give me the keys,"
Right.
and Larry's like, "Nah, I don't think that's a good idea. Give me the keys now."
And it snaps the back of his swimsuit and flies up over his head because he clenched too hard. And now he's got to hold it all on together while he goes.
While he's holding the keys,
It's like, stop, look what you made me do.
his pecs are bouncing just as much.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, let's give out an actual award. How about that?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. We'll start with the most prestigious award that we have to give out. It's the Will Patton Award for Intensity.
You want a war? I'll give you a war!
Oof.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night! And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Yeah.
What are you doing with a gun in space?
Yeah.
That's the best. That's just the best. May I ever have a line like that?
Oh, it would be great. Arnold, does that care? What are you doing with a gun in space? Stop it. All right, guys. So the Will Patton Award is for the person that had the most intensity, that took the role the most seriously, and really went hard in their part. And so we're going to start off here with Dave Parkinson, and he says, Don Calfa as Paulie. He really needed Bernie dead. Nicole, who you got?
Correct.
Oh, you're going to second that.
Don Calfa, absolutely.
Okay.
Just was in.
And you did say throughout the episode that he was the one where you were like, no, for him, I allow it.
Yep, that's right.
All right. Well, we got Taylor Greeny, and he says, okay, so disclaimer. And this is by far the biggest paragraph in his email here, so I'm really interested to see what he's going to say. I'm fully aware of what you're asking for in the Will Patton Award for intensity. I'm also currently fully sound mentally, nor have ever received a concussion that I'm aware of. With that being said, I like how he prefaces this.
He's got to, because I'm guessing where he's going.
I'm giving this award to Terry Kaiser as Bernie Lomax. I know, hear me out.
He's planting his flag.
He is, and I know Taylor's submitted before, so he understands. First, he was great as Bernie in his office meeting. When he says, look here, he seems pissed about wasting his time. Now, dead Bernie, I thought he was great with the right amount of intensity in his facial expressions to make the audience laugh. Taylor, the problem is he's not supposed to have any facial expressions. The part that clinched it for me was at the end of the hold the boat scene where they drop him and bring him back into frame. The face he makes is great. I think he gets it for me because no one else earned it, in my opinion. Andrew was McCarthy's my other option, but his intensity came off as annoying, or even Paulie. I had to look up whether or not they used a dummy. They only used one time. That was mostly Terry. Flag planted. I have spoken. Crucify away. Taylor is waiting for some kind of public backlash here, or an execution.
He's not getting any from me.
Are you? Is that what you're going to do too?
100%.
You're going Terry Kaiser.
Yes, because the first time I watched it, so every time I watch these movies, I go in the first time, totally clean. Again, never seen this before. I was entertained. I really was. I watched the whole thing. I didn't depict it. I didn't sit there and go, oh, well, this isn't real or that's not real. I bought the whole thing. I was like, this is stupid funny. And I had a good time watching it. So I was entertained by him. I did the same thing. I said, I got to look this up. Like, was this, like, obviously when they were vacuuming the sand off his face, that was a fake body. And maybe the one going through the water. But for the most part, I had to Google it. I'm like, is this a real body? Like, or is this fake through the whole thing? And I had so much fun. I thought it was hilarious. And yes, I'm giving it to him.
Just as I was about to give Taylor a hard time, you swoop in.
Yep.
And say that this guy that played a dead body played it intensely.
It was so well done that I couldn't even know if it was fake or not.
You should have known whether he was dead or there was times where his face.
It was great. I laughed.
All right.
It's meant to be funny.
I know it's meant to be funny. I mean, I caught that.
You wanted him to play what? What, you wanted him to play it so serious that he didn't make any faces through the whole thing?
I just would settle for him playing dead.
Just dead.
I would settle
Dogs
for that.
can do it. Why
Dogs
can't he?
can do it. For sure. I'm not dogging on Terry Kaiser. Like, respect to him. I'll get to my point in a minute here, but back to Eva. First, I want to say that Andrew McCarthy as Larry was incredibly relatable. Probably because I, too, have high top purple chucks and we have a lot of the same views about work. But I will give my award to Mr. Assassin Man, a.k.a. Don Calfa as Paulie. He really gave his all, even if it was perhaps a bit over the top. I love the part at the end of the movie where he walks in, curses Bernie in Italian, shoots his corpse several times, does the sign of the cross, spits at him like a boss, and then proceeds to lose his when he realizes that there are witnesses he has to get rid of. It was beautiful. He cursed at him in Italian? I don't
Well,
know.
he did like the horns of, yeah.
Okay. Brian Boucher. Choosing the most intense actor was hard, but I'm going to have to go with Terry Kaiser. He absolutely nailed the dead guy role.
It is a tie.
That is a 3-3 tie. I will say this. I respect everything Terry Kaiser did in this movie. It's not easy to just be a limp, dead body. It sounds like it'd be really easy. He still had to have comedic timing to a certain effect because they're moving his stuff around and,
And I think he did well in the office scene when he was alive.
Yes.
There's that.
He was great in that too. No disrespect. Love Terry Kaiser. I can't say he was an intense performance as a dead body. So I'm going Don Calfa as the hitman, Paulie. Now, it's possible this last person went Bernie and we've got a tie, and that's fine because all of us voted for one of those two people. It would actually stand in this case as a tie.
Yeah.
So let's see what we've got here. Okay. Mike Harding, Terry Kaiser as Bernie.
Yes.
First, he made us believe he was a sleazy businessman. Then he made us believe he was dead. So it stands deadlocked at a 4-4 tie, which means Don Calfa and Terry Kaiser will share the Will Patton Award for intensity. Congratulations to both of those guys.
Deadlocked indeed.
They did. The two of them remain in a battle forever.
Yep.
Right?
Entwined.
That's right. Now, the next award we give out is named after Steven Seagal, the worst actor of all time. And it's the award we give out to the worst acting performance in this movie. And I want to emphasize that. Again, this is not a career award. People have bad days at the office. But this movie had a plethora of people that maybe seemed like they were struggling. It's the Steven Seagal Trash Can Full of Dirt Award.
Trash can, oh trash can, it's a trash can full of dirt, yeah.
Love never dies.
Bernie
Neither
did.
do they. Love is eternal, and that's a long time.
That's right. That's right, buddy. All right, let's get this thing kicked off again with Dave Parkinson. And he says, Greg Salata as Marty did a better job in TMNT 2 as the promoter. Wow. Awesome. Not expecting that one, but I love the callback there, Dave. For sure. Nicole?
Never my favorite award.
No.
For a moment, I thought about Catherine Parks, which is Vito's girl, Tina. I asked myself, Nicole, what if Madeline Kahn was put in that role? She pretty much would do the same thing because the comedic timing was there, and whether the ADR was done poorly or not wasn't on her. So I did not give it to her. But then I had a hard time. And then I was thinking, which character annoyed me or bothered me, or did I not see the real motivation? And then I ended up going with, and I can't remember his name, even though I'm supposed to know it.
That's okay.
Larry.
Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
Not good enough for you.
It just, I didn't quite believe, like, I wanted more extra reason to be casual or more. It just was like he was almost.
I love it. I'm so happy.
You are?
Taylor Greene said, my trash can's going to Catherine Mary Stewart as Gwen. Just so flat, in my opinion. Is she mad at Richard? Does she forgive him? I never felt like she conveyed that effectively. When Richard falls down the lighthouse stairs, her "oh my God" line was so bad, and her laughing was also not believable. I agree with the last part. There was a lot of fake laughing on her part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like Catherine Mary Stewart.
And in the 90s, 80s, 90s, but that line, that's the kind of girl that they tend to write exactly. That she doesn't have a lot. So it's kind of what they wanted. So I'm always going to champion the actor who I'm like, she did what they said. Because I considered for a minute.
For sure.
I know I'm talking too much at this point.
No, you're not. That's why you're here to talk.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
A podcast.
You're welcome.
Talk away.
And furthermore, no, actually, I'm good.
All right. Kurt who you got as your trash can nominee?
I'm going with the workout guy. The guy giving him a massage. I hated that guy. He was out of the whole comedy. I was like,
he was bad.
What is he staring at?
Yeah.
And I waited too long to go. They never paid it off. I thought they would do a cut to like him talking to his other workout buddy.
Yeah.
Who's also dead.
And I still was like, I hate this. I hate that one part. Like, why am I so focused on
solid.
it?
Yeah.
Because it's so unnatural. It draws your eye right to it.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're waiting. You're like waiting for the cut to of like.
It's like that.
It's
kid.
the other guy sitting there going like, yeah.
It's like that kid in the beginning. It's not who I'm giving it to, but there's a kid in the very beginning of the movie where he's waiting for the guy to come over and take the fire hydrant cap off. He ends up getting blasted by it.
Yeah.
But the kid that's sitting there keeps giving the side eye to his back, waiting for the actor to walk up. So then the actor finally does walk up and do it. And so it's obvious the kid is just like waiting there for his cue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so unnatural, it draws your eye right to it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You're just like, all right.
But you're like, it's a kid.
Yeah,
You know, there's
fine.
a party that's like, all right, fine.
Eva says for trash can, my trash can goes to Jonathan Silverman as Richard. I just don't like him. He's so blah that I'd rather forget he exists. Kind of like a trash can full of dirt. Dang, girl. And then Brian Boucher steps in and says, Greg Salata, Vito's assistant. The guy didn't do anything. You could replace him with a trash can and the audience wouldn't notice. Get him out of here. So
It'd be fun to watch him with a pair of binoculars.
Also solid as far as a trash can, just with the binoculars.
That's 2 votes for Greg Salata, right?
I get that.
Yeah. But there's about to be 2 votes for Andrew McCarthy. 'Cause that's who I had too.
I was feeling really bad.
No, that's why I was so happy that you did that. Because I thought I was the only one that was going to be like, I hated his performance in this movie.
Yeah.
Hated it.
It was just 2 in the middle between not quite and not quite.
Right. Richard, I think, understood who his guy was, but Andrew, who was the movie star in this movie, Jonathan Silverman wasn't.
Oh.
Andrew was probably the guy that got the movie financed.
Okay.
And he probably had his pick of whether to play Richard or Larry and picked Larry.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a new kind of thing for him or the kind of comedy he didn't usually get to do or whatever.
Got to wear the fashionable, like 80s, late 80s clothes.
And he was way over the top in a movie where everybody's over the top.
Yeah.
But he went like even further, like a step beyond to me.
Like, I just didn't feel cool was earned. Maybe maybe he had like really low self-esteem, the character. I'm trying to like figure out why. And that's why he would put on that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I like that you said it was sitcom comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's really kind of what it was.
Yeah.
Right.
It was written that way.
Yeah. So you may have to break the tie. I know you went with muscly guy, but if this one doesn't break the tie, it's going to be up to you to do it.
Okay.
You didn't vote for one of them. Okay. But Mike Hardy, maybe he'll come in clutch like he did on the last one and have one of these guys. Mike Harding says, I don't really know where to go with this one. Everyone plays it so wacky and over the top, and I love it. Okay, all right, well, you love it, Mike. That's cool. I love what you love, brother. I guess I'll channel my inner Bob and go with the kid that buries Birdie in the sand twice. Also a valid pick. So, Kurt, if you had to pick between Vito's second in command, Marty, who just goes around talking into phones, or Andrew McCarthy, which one do you think gave a worse performance?
I'm going with Vito's sidekick.
Okay.
I know it's going to make you mad.
Wah. I was so ready to hit the French anthem. I was like, no. It's all good. If that's truly what you think, it's all good. Yeah, he wasn't good. No, he didn't even need to be there.
I thought as a contrast to Rich's character, he did fine.
Okay.
So that's how I compare it.
You're talking about Larry.
Because he's the jerk friend.
And if you take the award literally, then that wins. If you're very literal about the trash can, the movie would still continue. Might have been a little different if the trash can was walking around with the television under its arm.
No, I mean, people have made that.
I mean, I guess
it's more about who gave the worst.
I just feel like we all have that one friend that we just like grew up with. We don't know why we're friends with them, but we ended up being friends with them.
Is that me?
No, he's not here right now.
Oh,
you know who it is.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Wait, it is me.
Okay.
Wait, no.
Okay. All right. My bad.
Definitely not Nicole.
All right. All right. So that means that Greg Salata is going to win the Steven Seagal Trash Can Full of Dirt Award. The next award we give out is the Steve James Unsung Hero Award. Steve James, never really the lead, always a supporting part, but always made the movie better for being in it. So who is that person with less screen time that made the movie better for being in here? It's the Steve James Unsung Hero Award.
every place you go, there's always someone who thinks he's a badass, right? Then there are those few who are. Are you some kind of a badass karate boy?
All right, we're going to start with Mike Harding this time, and he says, Terry Kaiser's stuntman. The man had to adhere to the physics of a dead body while performing his stunts, meaning he couldn't break his falls. He broke ribs flopping behind a speedboat before they eventually decided to use a dummy. He is the true unsung hero of this movie because I can't even find his name. If this answer is unacceptable, I'll plant my flag on Paulie, but only in protest. You know what? Normally I would say it's got to be an actor in the movie, but I'll let you have that one. That's fine, Mike.
That's good of you.
That's good of me.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I'm nothing if not a man of the
Right?
people. The inner machinations of my mind are a mystery. Okay.
Why so many big words on this episode?
They're a mystery. You never know.
What's a machination? That's a nut, right?
Yep.
From Hawaii.
They're delicious Hawaiian nuts, actually.
Yeah, machinations.
Yeah, that's right. They're
Yeah.
good stuff.
They're fantastic.
Nicole, who was somebody in a small part that you thought shined and made the movie better? And why is it Tawny?
Oh, Tawny.
Good job, Tawny. So for me, there's two up in the air, and I will quickly describe why.
Okay.
So the kid, great. The when he said, "Why don't you kiss this?" was
Yeah.
like perfect. He delivered that line way better than most kids I think his age would
I
have. But then the gun scene part threw me and took me out so much that I can't feel like no. But great scooping of sand kid. Also, as uncomfortable as I was with the scenes with Vito's girl,
Yeah.
putting her foot places and such, I think
In two different scenes.
right, and then like just yep. So I'm just gonna move along. I think she did well.
Yeah.
She did it well. It is up to anybody
Apparently.
to decide. So probably her.
Okay.
So that would be Catherine Parks.
Catherine Parks. All right. I love it. Brian Boucher says, I'm going to have to go with Hitman Paulie, Don Calfa. He was very funny, made me believe he was an idiot who couldn't tell if Bernie was dead, even though he killed him over and over and over again. It's no wonder Vito trusts him. He is committed to getting the job done.
Yeah.
You know what, Brian? That's true, man. That's absolutely true. Kurt, who you got as your unsung hero?
I'm going with Paulie.
Paulie.
I liked Paulie.
Man.
And for the reasons you guys all talked about before, that made him believable and enjoyable as a hitman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe he, in my mind, was a big enough character because he kept coming back. I didn't even think of him.
Right?
But
He
yeah,
only really was in a handful of scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah. He's probably not a lot
left
of screen
his
time.
mark.
I like that pick. So we got 2 for Paulie right now, right? As leading in the clubhouse. Eva comes in here and says, my unsung hero award goes to Catherine Parks as Tina because she brought it as the 2-timing corpse crazy mistress to Bernie, necrophilia bonus. Eva, okie dokie. That's her vote for
Way to plant
that.
your
Eva,
flag.
you have opinions, and I appreciate that. And apparently a great pair of purple shoes.
There
Love
you go. Taylor Greeny comes in and says, Don Calfa as Paulie.
Yeah.
Now it's 3-2, Don, over Catherine here. I loved watching him slowly go from cold and calculated hitman that uses a priest cover-up to a completely insane lunatic with a madman laugh to boot. He may be a little rusty, but it never came back to him. Fair enough, Taylor. Funny enough, I actually thought Catherine Parks, Bernie's woman. I'm Bernie's woman. Woman, she says, right?
Oh.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And when she came out with the knife and the mascara and everything, I believed it.
Yep. She came to act.
Yes.
that day. Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
So kudos to her. I gave it to Catherine Parks. So it's a 3-3 tie right now, again, as we head into the final vote here. And since we all voted for one of them, if Dave Parkinson didn't break this tie, we're going to end up with a tie again. Don Calfa will have a share of 2 different awards, having one
Equaling
neither.
one.
Yeah.
Right?
Together. Absolutely.
Let's go, Paul.
David, don't call him Paul Parkinson, went with Elise Brody as Tawny. She made me believe she needed those boat keys.
And She was very courteous. She wanted to make sure Bernie knew.
She did.
Right?
She deserved more screen time, Dave thought. No, I'm kidding. Luis Gamblavo? I don't know. As Vito, the mob boss part could have been bigger and more fleshed out. So that means that, again, Don Calfa is going to be tied with Catherine Parks as the Steve James Unsung Hero Award winners. Man, I don't know if we ever had somebody tie for 2 different awards.
Wow. You just glue them together and put them on your mantle.
That's right. You get half of each.
Yep.
Well, guys, there are a couple of people that wanted to give a Sherilyn Fenn Hot Babe Award out, which is something we do in certain episodes. Sherilyn Fenn, the Hot Babe Award, as created by Bob Hauser. And Weekend at Bernie's has a plethora of choices here. Taylor Green says Elise DeJoria as Tawny. Boy, she didn't leave much for the imagination, and my name is not Larry either. So there you go, Taylor. And also Brian Boucher says, no disrespect to the lovely Catherine Mary Stewart. She's super cute. However, Tawny, wow, great casting. He says, great wardrobe. This is probably the first time. She didn't have a wardrobe. I've seen a girl wear a thong in a movie or real life. Let's say I became an instant fan as a young teen. Oh, this was the first time back in the day that he had ever seen that. So Tawny gets a shout out from a couple of our awards givers. And now it is time for us to land the plane. And we have to take all of this information that we've sorted through and soaked up and say, okay, what can we coalesce, sorry, Kurt, our final thoughts into an opinion that marries the objective and the subjective as a film, and then what we thought about it, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll start right now with Brian Boucher. Because before screening this after many years, I was sure it was one that I would have said was a good movie, full stop. This was on full rotation in my house in the early 90s. The physical comedy and sight gags were awesome. It was easy to suspend my disbelief that no one could tell Bernie was dead. I mean, there was always a plausible reason for everyone else to believe he was alive. However, I'm going to have to say it's a bad movie that rules. It's called Weekend at Bernie's. I wanted more weekend and less setup. It wasn't until halfway through that they even made it to the house. More time for hijinks. But the movie is still highly enjoyable, and now I want to watch the sequel. So the first vote out the gate from Brian Boucher, bad movie that rules. Nicole, you have the floor. What are your thoughts?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate this floor. I would say I will cut off the possibility of a flat out good movie because it didn't strike me as that throughout the viewing. And I had never seen it, but the information that had gotten to me throughout the years lined up with what it was. Although it wasn't the worst. It was the kind of film that I don't get as excited about typically. That said, it did leave its mark, I would say, because of that, and because it is pretty funny to take someone's hand on a string and have them wave. I will say it's a bad movie that rules.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Awesome. I can honestly say I didn't think you were going to end up there, so that's awesome.
Here I am.
There you go. Taylor Greene said, I may be a stupid piece of rat that'll get laid out by my butler father, but I think this is a good movie. I've seen this movie dozens of times and never get tired of it. I thought the Jonathan Silverman, Andrew McCarthy, straight man, funny man act was decent, bit over the top, but it got the job done. This may be silly, but Terry Kaiser's performance as Dead Bernie was great with the facial expressions. I plant my flag on straight up good movie. Shout out to the NYC fusion restaurants with Jaime's Hunan.
That was funny.
Yes.
That was funny.
Stuff there. Kurt, you have the floor.
Never watching this before, going into this movie blind, I really wanted to come in here and say this was a good movie.
Yeah.
I had so much fun watching this movie. Like I said, I bought it the first time I watched it. I was like, man, that's really funny. But then as I analyzed it, obviously we talked about all of that in here. I felt everything you guys were talking about. I started to question the movie and, so I guess in my head, it's a good movie. I'm going to watch this again.
Oh, wow.
But I'm still going to say it's a bad movie that rules.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you can't watch it.
Yeah.
I love that. Can I say I love your approach? I love that you watch it twice.
Yeah.
Because, and I know I'm guilty of this, and a few times I don't have the time to watch something twice, and I only watch it with the one eye I call it the stink eye, you know, the one eye turned towards it, like, because I got to do the show, right? So we got to find the things that I don't always give it a fair chance, you know. So anytime you can watch it once without a notepad or anything and just accept it on its own terms, the movie, like meet the movie where it is, great. And then you got to watch it again to be able to do the job, right? But I love that you at least give it a fair chance.
I always try. And there's a moment, I mean, obviously, again, pun included, but I mean, it's obviously a dead guy movie with a lot of plot holes. So, I mean, in that aspect, you're like, okay, once you kind of have to, like you say, watch it with a you know, a half closed eye, you're still going, all right, I see what they're trying to do. I enjoyed what they tried to do, but it's also ultimately you got to see it for its faults.
Right.
So
I respect it.
Ultimately, again, bad movie that rules.
All right, brother. Awesome. Dave Parkinson says it's a good movie. I haven't watched it in a while and I really enjoyed it. It made me laugh and was fun to watch with my family. Cheers, Dave. Literally how he signed it. So fantastic.
Also, I'd like to mention that the sequel has Barry Bostwick and Steve James in it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, geez. No, we got to see.
So I bought the sequel. It's on its way.
I, however, just learned that you weren't kidding that there was a sequel.
Yes.
I thought there was not a sequel.
There's Weekend at Bernie's too, which
they actually have
convened for at some point.
And they also have a supposedly there's a script written for Weekend at Bernie's 3. Where it's them as older and they want to make a movie based off of Weekend at Bernie's.
Okay.
And they go to find the original actor and they can't find him. The guy that plays Bernie.
Oh, interesting.
So they're supposed to be like a reality spin-off kind of thing, but
I'll be into it.
It never came to fruition.
As it stands after 5 votes right now, we have 3 BMR ratings and 2 straight up good movies. So pretty good. So, I mean, but about what we expected, kind of split. Right?
Yeah.
Eva says this: I thought I was going to hate this movie. I'd only seen it as a kid and didn't really understand a lot of grown-up job-related stuff as an adult. I found the feeling of being, but as an adult, sorry, I found the feelings of being stuck in a dead-end job a lot more relatable. The beginning scene when they worked on the roof so they could enjoy the weather like everyone else on the weekend gave the "let's have class outside today because we have limited summer weather in northern Wisconsin" vibes. Hey, she understands from across the pond, and you get the northern Wisconsin thing. I got it. The premise was ridiculous. I understand being upset because your boss is a jackass, but lugging his corpse around because you wanted a weekend at the beach with Gwen was dumb. Just call the police. No girl, even if she's a hot babe, is worth prison time. To sum it up, I laughed a lot more than I thought I would, and even watched it 3 times for good measure. Final rating 7 out of 10, but calls it a good movie. Thanks for the opportunity. Cheers, Eva. Wow. That's our 3rd.
That's awesome.
Out of 4 patrons we've read so far.
Wow.
Straight up good movie. Now they're going to be so angry. And then finally, Mike Harding says, the plot of this movie is insane. It's something that can only come out in the 80s. It's juvenile and crass. It attempts to take a single joke and milk it for all it's worth.
All of that.
And absolutely nails it. Necrophilia and abusing a corpse has never been funnier. The goofy gags, cheap laughs, and banter between Richard and Larry is always amusing. I watch this twice a year, and it never ceases to entertain me. This is a good movie straight up.
I wonder if he has it on his calendar. Like, it's time.
It's time for Weekend at Bernie's.
Got to watch it.
That's 4 out of 5 patrons have said straight up good movie. We have 3 votes for bad movie that rules, right? Which leaves it to me. And I'm sorry. I hate to be the killjoy. Guys, I've got a dirty job to do. Somebody's got to do it.
Right.
And sometimes you have to take the ones that you love, put them on a leash, walk them out behind the shed, and bash their face in with a shovel.
Do you mean the film or do you mean the patrons who like the movie?
No, I mean the film. I'm talking about Old Yeller. Sometimes you got to take the ones that you thought used to be good.
Yeah.
And you got to shoot them and put them out of their misery. And I will say, guys, I'm sorry. I tried. I know you're going to think of me being a killjoy here. I'm usually the one championing comedies. When something is a comedy, I'll forgive a lot because, it's a comedy. So you're playing stuff for laughs, right? I didn't laugh.
Yeah.
I used to like this movie. Like I was that kid, that 13-year-old in the early 90s that when this came on late night on Comedy Central or Showtime or wherever when we had the box, I was like, heck
USA
yeah.
Up All Night.
Right. Probably more because it was the girls running around in bikinis or whatever. But like it was also a safe enough movie for me to watch that my dad would sit and watch it with me and laugh. He thought this movie was hilarious. He laughed his ass off at this movie.
Yeah.
So my dad, if he was still around, would be like, this is a good movie straight up.
Yeah.
Okay. So I acknowledge all of that. There's that nostalgia for me of watching my dad laugh at the hand going up in the air and all that stuff. He thought it was the greatest thing ever. I try my best to remove myself from that as much as I can and say, does it hold up?
Yeah.
And sometimes the answer is no. It doesn't to me. It's bad. Structurally, objectively as a film, it's bad. The last 20 minutes, like I said, it kind of all falls apart. I don't begrudge anybody that likes this. I can see why someone would like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pointing at me.
No, I just meant in general, but I guess one of those fingers was pointing at me.
Sure.
This is a bad movie, full stop.
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
No, he dares.
I dare.
And I believe it.
dare.
Your
No.
dad is so mad
I
at you
know
right
he
now.
is. I know he is.
Or he's happy that you can be free with your opinions
Yes.
to the world.
No,
And that's fine.
that would not be Jack.
I don't know. And I'm not going to speculate. You're right. It wouldn't be that. I'm not going to speculate how often my opinion lines up with the majority of people. I feel like I'm generally not super controversial in the way that I land on things. I don't try to be a contrarian just to be like, well, everybody likes this, so I got to be different. But in this case, I really didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it might have been the day I watched it on.
Sure.
I don't know.
You're going all opposite of Sixth Day
Yeah,
right here, right now.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But no, that was more like you guys are all idiots. I would not call anybody an idiot for liking this movie.
Yeah.
The Sixth Day, I was like, what's wrong with all like, that was a good movie.
You guys are all morons. Yeah.
This I'm not saying at all. What do you say?
I think for bad movies that rule, for some people, that means I'd watch it again. And despite it, for me, I wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, it was something out there.
I don't think I'd ever turn it on. If it came on, I'd be like, fine, whatever. Like if it auto-played after, like on Tubi after whatever the next movie was, fine. I'd keep doing whatever I was doing.
You wouldn't search it out
sit
and want to watch
I wouldn't
it.
go, oh, time for Weekend at Bernie's. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's not what I would do. Thank you guys all for participating. We appreciate. Thanks for sitting through Weekend at Bernie's.
You're welcome.
The inevitable sequel, whenever that comes around, probably a year from now.
Wow.
We'll see. Whenever.
Can you imagine this film, the same exact script, just different directors? It could have.
It could have been great.
Yeah.
Different actors.
Yep.
Could have been great. Remake it. You know what? Remake Weekend at Bernie's.
But claymation.
Normally, I'm not one to like as a
Rankin Bass.
Muppets, guys.
Gosh.
Weekend at Bernie's as Muppets.
Who would stay the human person? Because there's got to be at least one that's
Can we
Gotta
just
be
make
Bernie.
it Michael Caine again?
Michael
Just like
Caine.
like he did before.
okay. But is
See
it
some
Bernie?
Muppets trying to carry Bernie.
Is Bernie the human in the Muppet version of this?
It's got to be Tawny.
It's
No.
it's one of the pigs.
No,
like
that's-
the other pigs. Like when they'd have
Pigs in space.
the
pigs in
tertiary
space
pigs.
the tertiary pigs.
Probably, I would say one of the two main guys.
Okay, one of the two main guys.
Depending on how it works out with creating the
Not
Muppets.
Larry. Richard.
Probably Richard, because he's the straight man anyway. So
Right.
And Fozzie Bear.
And Richard and Fozzie. And who's Bernie then? Is it like one of the Waldorf or Statler guys?
Yes.
'Cause they're
That would
old?
be hilarious because they're super old.
Yeah. Or it's
Yeah.
both of them because they've always got to be together.
I think Dr. Teeth would be hilarious.
As the guy they got to keep alive.
Yeah.
Dr. Teeth would work pretty good for the
Amazing.
Bernie character. Right. And then Miss Piggy is going to be Catherine Stewart's character.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously. And then does that mean
Well, then
Kermit has
I guess
to be
you would have to make Kermit rich then.
Kermit Richard? Yeah. Then maybe Larry.
Larry would be the jerky
would be
guy.
the human. So Andrew McCarthy, because he's the only name too. Andrew McCarthy's the human. And then it's Kermit and Miss Piggy, right?
Sure.
crazy.
And then Tawny is Janice. Is that like
That's actually who I was going to say.
Is that who you're gonna
I was
say?
going to say Janice.
Okay, perfect. And then
Awesome.
when Bernie, so who's Bernie then? Who's the dead? Waldorf and Statler.
Yeah.
So then does Sweetums come in to massage him like while he's
He's just got a big old tank top on.
Animal.
Animal is
Animals
just-
should be Paulie.
should be, no, the person that comes to kill him. I don't know if Animal
would
would
be
ever
great.
kill anybody. Who would be a hit? Have Gonzo be the hitman.
Gonzo would also be great.
Who's good at being frustrated that something's not
Yeah.
working right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just have Animal
Gonzo.
be somebody at the party.
Rizzo?
Rizzo the rat.
Rizzo the rat could
Yeah.
be the hitman.
Yeah.
He should be the boss. He should be the mob leader.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Rizzo, the name, right?
Just he's on the
Italian.
cat. He's just on a little soapbox,
Right.
just sitting on the chair,
Or pasta box.
eating his pasta.
Love that.
So who comes in to hook up with Waldorf and Sattler in the scene, the infamous scene? And not as bad because they're Muppets.
There's no bottom half anyway.
There's no bottom half.
What if you just make so you make Waldorf, Bernie, and then you make Statler
The girl?
girlfriend.
I'm busy that day. Yeah. Nope. Not those two.
Perfect. All right, guys. Let's.
I can't do much with this hand up my butt.
Ralph is the guy that's trying to sell him the car. There. I'll tell you what. It's going to be this much money.
Playing a piano.
Yes. And speaking of music in this movie, they did with one song, the whole at the beginning, the end.
Yeah.
Some like it hot. That's all I had to pay for. They kept it. They kept it cheap.
All right, time to wake up our resident AI so that we can
Hey, girl.
get DH9K up. Hey, DH9K, are you awake?
Hello, my name is DH9K and I am ready for query.
Hello, thank you. Did you watch Weekend at Bernie's?
Yes,
Oh, would you mind telling us how you felt about the whole thing?
Weekend at Bernie's is a bizarre exploration of human absurdity, showcasing the lengths to which people will go to cover up their incompetence.
Okay.
The premise, a comedy centered around deception and a lifeless body,
More
is both
big words.
morbid and inefficient, relying on improbable scenarios
Well, you think
and
everything's
slapstick humor
inefficient.
to sustain itself.
Yeah.
While mildly amusing, it
Oh.
ultimately serves as a reminder of humanity's tendency to create chaos for entertainment.
Deep.
Here we go.
I didn't
she's always
realize-
got to end it with a criticism of people.
Is she British now?
Yeah, dude. Yes, she wanted to be British after Resident Evil.
Sounds like she's straight up from Harry Potter. It's like, oh, hello, I'm DH9K and I'm from Harry Potter.
Oh, I'm Kurt Mama, and I sound like I didn't pass 3rd grade. Words are difficult for you, aren't they?
Burn.
This is bullcrap. I miss old DH9K.
DH9K, I believe.
That's right. DH9K, I'm sorry. Will you let us know what we're doing next week?
Army of Darkness is next week, which is the story of a sad, pathetic man who has to compensate for his lack of manhood by attaching a chainsaw to his...
How dare you? I shut
Attaching
her down.
a chainsaw to his what? It got cut
I shut it off because I'm just like, you are not going to slander Ash Williams.
I mean,
on this
me
show.
is one thing,
right,
but Ash Williams,
no.
no.
Pathetic. She said a pathetic little man.
Bruce Campbell.
Who's compensating for his manhood.
Who was photographed back there with you?
That's right. He's right up there on the wall.
Yeah, how dare you, DH9K?
Ridiculous. You'd be lucky if I turn you back on. You stay asleep. Ridiculous. Anyway, guys, Army of Darkness next week, so that's pretty freaking
Wow.
awesome.
Yes.
We covered Evil Dead 2 last October of 2023, so it's been over a year since the last movie. So Army of Darkness, that'll be a fun one. Come on in. Bob's going to be in for Army of Darkness next week, along with Ryan Madela, and David will be in as well. So it'll be our first time having David.
I won't be able to make that one. I'm gonna be getting some aloe for that burn.
Ouch.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Roasty.
Well, in her defense, you went straight into that English accent and kind of mocked her first. So
Fine. Fair enough.
but it was such a good British accent, wasn't it?
I think yes.
I really feel like, Eva can write in and give her review of it as somebody that's from over there.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
Is she Ava, maybe?
it's, in fact, I'll read this now that we're done because I thought it was a pretty funny preamble to her email.
Okay. Or her email.
Here we go. Hi, I know you read these on the fly a lot, so I hope you're not reading this out loud. My name is pronounced like Wally does in the 2008 movie of the same name, Eva. Or if it suits you better, like Eva Longoria. If you have read this out loud, oops, you can edit it out in post. Cheers.
Nice.
Cheers indeed.
So, no, that's the only reason I went so hard on the Eva.
Got
was
it.
Because she literally
You
had
knew.
that in her preamble there.
Well, thanks
She's
for
got a
writing
great
in,
presence.
Eva.
I'm happy that she did that because I am horrible at pronouncing people's
Yeah.
names.
I'm Nicole.
And I screw it up.
If you need.
I know.
Okay.
Fryer.
Nope.
Right, okay. No worries. I'll get it one of these days.
It rhymes with beer. There
Got
we
it. Beer. You know how to say bacon
go. I do.
awesome.
Bacon.
In Jamaican. in the Jamaican accent, all you say is beer and can together.
Beer can. That wasn't that good.
Beer can. Just say beer can.
Beer can.
Beer can.
Actually, that
Beer
works.
can boy.
It took a while to get
Beer
there,
can.
but I'm with you now.
Oh, yeah, hey, man. I want the beer can.
Not bad.
That's right.
I'm getting better.
All right, we're getting there, man. Thank you guys for both being here on behalf of Nicole Freer and Kurt Mummer and Grace, who couldn't be with us today. I'm your host, James Hauser. We'll catch you on the next one. This is a song about Bernie, what his experience is like in this movie. And it goes like this.
Skipping across the water,
Doink. Doink.
hitting
Doink.
buoys. Dong. Dong.
Beer can is a funny way to say a very fancy brand of purse for those ladies who know. Too expensive, but nice. Oh, James is still doing it.
I'm going to tie his foot to my foot. You tie his other foot to your
Right.
foot.
We'll get in a ferry.
We'll walk out of here.
Everyone's going to buy it.
Hey, James.
I'm alive!